Berwick Bulldogs Coaches Show, featuring an interview with Jim Doyle and former Berwick star and longtime assistant coach Andy Mahaley. Brought to you by First Columbia Bank and Trust, with you every step of the way. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling, veteran and military family owned and operating. S.J. Kowalski Heating and Cooling, the way the earth intended. J. Lilo Jewelers, 140 East Main Street, Bloomsburg. Mason's Monogram Service for all your Bulldog merchandise. Neighbor Fence Company, residential and commercial fencing. First Keystone Community Bank, yesterday's traditions, tomorrow's vision. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick, for all your home improvements. Yannick Real Estate, commercial and residential. Alexander Family Dealership, Central Road in Bloomsburg. Brookdale Senior Living, 420 Schaefer Road in Bloomsburg. And by Kemmler's Family Restaurant, Route 11 between Bloomsburg and Berwick. In just 30 minutes, Sports Radio HLN brings you the best of Berwick football, a special rebroadcast of one of the most anticipated season openers in the history of Bulldogs football. Berwick versus Glen Mills, September 4th, 1992 at Crispin Field. Andy Mahaley was an assistant coach on that 1992 Berwick team, just one of 34 seasons that he was on the Bulldogs staff. Mahaley was a sophomore on legendary head coach George Curry's first Berwick team in 1971. In his senior season, he was selected to the All-State team as a linebacker. Earlier this week, Andy Mahaley reminisced about the 1992 season opener with the voice of the Bulldogs, Jim Doyle.
Well, Andy, you played high school football at Berwick. You were on the coaching staff for 34 years. You know all about expectations from a Berwick standpoint. And every year there's great expectations, but I can't imagine expectations going into a season when a national publication like the USA Today did in 1992 says you're the number one team in the nation. You know, you're dealing with high school kids. How did George Curry and you and the rest of the staff, how did you keep your kids' heads from blowing up with those kind of expectations?
Well, Jim, it was difficult, but Coach Curry had a way of letting them know every week. You know, people are going to come down. They're going to tell you how good you are. There's going to be TV stations. There's going to be newspapers telling you how great you are. But you have to keep focused every day and every game. So those kids, they were seniors. A lot of the senior leaders kept everybody in check. And, you know, these kids just worked hard from game to game. We didn't look past the next opponent. You know, we took every game seriously. And there was a lot of pressure on those kids. I mean, let's face it, Ron Paulus, obviously, that's the reason we were number one preseason. Everybody had him as their number one player in the country and number one quarterback anyway. And so, you know, he kept us, and he was a good leader. Ron was a good leader. He was a very confident leader, and I think that confidence was throughout the whole team that year.
And your opponent, Glen Mills, was also recognized by the USA Today as one of the teams to look for in the country. Did the fact that you had played them the year before and lost them by a single point at Glen Mills, that probably helped with the motivation?
Oh, it definitely did. And not only that loss, the last loss of that 91 season when we lost to North Pocono in Eastern Conference game, I think those players came back with, okay, that's the last time we want to lose. You know, so they worked a lot. They really worked hard in the off season, and in the especially in the weight room in the spring and in the summer workouts were fantastic. But everybody was looking forward to that first game. They wanted to get back on the field. They wanted to prove to everybody that, you know, we can do it. And they all came together, you know.
That opening drive was terrific. You take the opening kickoff, go down and score. Then there's an offside on Glen Mills in the extra point. So you go for two. You don't make it. I don't know if this went on the sideline, but I'm thinking to myself, uh-oh. Because the year before at Glen Mills, same thing occurred. You didn't make the extra point. You ended up chasing that extra point the whole night, ended up losing by a point. But that other team goes offside or the extra point attempt, go for two. That was automatically, George, wasn't it?
Most likely, yes. I mean, back in the day, we had a big fullback with Jason Sobolewski. You know, we figured we can get 2 yards, 2.5 yards anytime we wanted it. But, yeah, that was the thing. If the team went off sides, most likely we're going for two. That was George's philosophy.
Well, coming up later, you'll hear that Glen Mills game from 1992. Prior to our rebroadcast, we're talking with longtime assistant coach Andy Mahaley on the best of Berwick football. here on Sports Radio HLM.
You've been sitting at home glaring at those piles of junk, wondering what you're going to do with it all. At J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling, they'll help you donate the good, get rid of the bad, and hide the ugly. Make your appointment today to make it all go away by calling J-Dog at 844-438-5364. Check out their reviews on Facebook and Google or stop by their homepage at jdog.com. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is proudly veteran-owned and operated.
See the winning lineup of Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and also quality pre-owned vehicles at Bear Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Berwick. They have a body shop and a full service center servicing all makes and models, and they've been servicing your community for over 30 years. Bear Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram has earned the highest possible ratings from Chrysler and the prestigious J.D. Power Award for Excellence. Need a truck? Bear has a vast inventory, including 2020 Ram Motor Trend Truck of the Year, or choose one of the 50 new Jeeps in stock. Bear Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, Pine Street in Berwick.
Neighbor Fence Company has fencing for where you want it, serving Columbia, Montour, and Luzerne counties. Neighbor Fence provides top-quality residential and commercial fencing, vinyl, chain link, wood, aluminum, and ornamental fencing, plus vinyl railing and specialty products. Neighbor Fence Company, 1140 State Route 239 in Wapwallopen. Call 570-752-4423 or visit them online at neighborfencecompany.com. Neighbor Fence Company is a proud sponsor of local youth athletic teams.
Eat your limb, baby.
Northeast Pennsylvania, it's your home. And no matter what stage of life you find yourself in, what you rely on most is security. When that house becomes a home, the moment you get that new car, when your dreams become a reality, it's times like this when you have to look to the experts for advice and financial peace of mind. They're there with innovative products and services to help you with your financial future every step of the way. Together, they will help dreams and goals become reality. They are more than a bank. They're your neighbor. They are First Keystone Community Bank. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick, are your roofing experts for Luzerne, Columbia, and Montour counties. With 26 years of experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your decks, siding, or roofing, specializing in metal and rubber shingles. Most roofing work is done in one day. So remember the name, Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas. Call Red's Roofing, 752-4351. Owner Harry Titus, a proud supporter of the Berwick football team.
Surprise that special someone with jewelry from J. Lilo Jewelers in downtown Bloomsburg. Lilo's is a full-service jewelry store offering one of the area's largest selections of diamonds, wedding bands, watches, sterling silver, and gold jewelry. Lilo's repairs jewelry and watches on site. You may also find that one-of-a-kind piece in the popular estate section. Come in and see Jeff for that special gift for that special someone for any occasion at J. Lilo Jewelers, 140 East Main Street, Bloomsburg. J. Lilo Jewelers wishes all athletes success this season.
You're listening to a special edition of the Berwick Bulldogs Coaches Show, featuring a conversation with Coach Andy Mahaley. Now let's get back to the conversation. Here's the voice of the Dogs, Jim Doyle.
The 2020 high school football season has been postponed for a few weeks, but tonight you're going to hear a rebroadcast of a special season opener, September 4th, 1992, Glen Mills at Berwick. We're talking to Andy Mahaley, an assistant coach of the Bulldogs for 34 seasons, including that memorable season of 1992. Andy, the expectations for the team were great, but you mentioned Ron Paulus. Obviously, a lot of those expectations were because of him. He was arguably the number one recruit in the nation. I saw him on Friday nights. You saw him every day. How did he go about his business on a day-to-day basis?
Very workmanlike. And he made that team that way also. I mean, Ron was a really great quarterback, but, he had a nice surrounding crew around him, too. I could tell you Chris Orlando. I could tell you Dante Beccarelli. I could tell you Jason Soboleski. Those guys were, they were there at practice every day. And you'll see in that game, or you'll hear from that game, what they did in that game against Glen Mills. They were a big instrument. They were reason why we end up winning that game. I mean, besides the whole defense and everybody else, but those guys made big plays, and they were just, that's the way they worked in practices. They worked hard together, and they built a lot of confidence in each other during the week.
With all the attention that Ron Paulus got locally and nationally, I imagine there was there'd be a chance of being some resentment on the part of other players. Was that ever a problem?
Never saw it, Jim. Never saw it. In fact, those days, they were very unselfish players. You know, they didn't care who got the glory. They just wanted to win. And they, you know, the pressure of being undefeated, pressure of being number one in the country. They worked hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And Friday came along. It seemed like, you know, well, we prepared for all week. They executed very good.
When we think back of that team, we think of it as a passing team, and certainly you were very good at that with Ron leading the way. But it was a balanced attack, wasn't it? There was a lot of run game to it.
Oh, there sure was. I mean, when you have a fullback like Jason Sobolewski, who's like 6'4", 225 pounds, and you can give him that ball, and then, you know, we would fake a lot of times. We call it the waggle keep. That was a big play for us when Ron Paulus would fake one way and then go the other way with the ball. That was a big running play for us when we needed it. In fact, throughout that season, if you can go back to the highlights, a lot of those scores that we made were from off fakes, like a waggle keep fakes where Ron Paulus would take along. In fact, later down the season, that's how we beat Hazleton that one night. It was a very close game in the fourth quarter, but we ran a waggle keep, and Ron ran down the sideline like 60-some yards to score that touchdown.
Yeah, among the many things that George Curry's teams did well, the quarterback running the football was always a part of his success, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, because let's face it, if they're keying on a running back or something like that, a dive keep or something like that always seemed to work for us.
You're listening to the best of Berwick football prior to the rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener. We're talking to longtime assistant coach Andy Mahaley. Back with Andy after this on Sports Radio HLM.
Chill out this summer with free and easy checking from First Columbia Bank and get a free gift. Enjoying the benefits of free and easy checking is effortless and gives you free access to 17 First Columbia ATMs and 55,000 free All-Point and Sheets ATMs for when you hit the road. Plus, for a limited time, get a free Arctic Zone insulated tote when you open a new checking account or refer a friend. It's perfect for picnics, parties, and road trips and will keep your food hot or cold for hours. First Columbia Bank, with you every step of the way. Restrictions and data rates may apply.
Mason's Monogramming has the largest selection of Bulldog items in Berwick. Family owned with more than 30 years experience and new Bulldog wear for every age, including masks, tees, polos, sweater shirts, jackets, and hats. They even have brand new indestructible silicone cups, koozies, car coasters, decals, and more. Shop at masonsmonogram.com for their new items and select in-person pickup or shipping right to you. Follow their Instagram at Mason's Monogram for their latest new items. Mason's Monogram service in Berwick. Let them personalize for you.
Yannick Real Estate is your full-service real estate agency. Buying, selling, residential, commercial, multifamily, land, and rental management. Call Yannick Real Estate. Owner Mike Yannick, a veteran himself, served his country and has been serving this area for decades. Mike and his staff will guide you through the real estate process. Veterans, be sure to check the VA loan options. Yannick Real Estate, your full-service real estate agency. 1232 West Front Street in Berwick. Call 759-3300.
HLM.
We're Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg, home of the Blaze Alexander lowest price guaranteed. Whether it's a new GMC Sierra 4x4, Acadia, or Terrain, or any of the full lineup of Buick SUVs, you'll get the lowest price guaranteed. We've got a huge selection of quality pre-owned vehicles too. Local one-owner cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Why shop anywhere else when you'll get the best selection, the best financing, and the most for your trade at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. We're taking deals the other guys won't.
S.J. Kowalski Heating and Air Conditioning sells comfort. Since 1972, S.J. Kowalski understands the importance of doing business locally. They service what they sell and take pride in customer satisfaction. S.J. Kowalski is a trained comfort specialist, a Lennox dealer, and they are Northeastern Pennsylvania's premier dealer of Mitsubishi ductless mini split systems. S.J. Kowalski also sells and installs energy-efficient Renai water heaters and geothermal systems. Call 1-888-KOWALSKI and ask about special promotions and zero-interest financing.
Are you looking to meet an elder care need? Do you or a loved one need assistance with any of the instrumental or basic activities of daily living? Brookdale Senior Living has a solution. Brookdale Bloomsburg, located at 420 Schaefer Road, is a premium personal care home offering a family atmosphere along with round-the-clock nursing care. Call 570-387-6868 to learn more. Better yet, we invite you to drop in and meet the Brookdale family and learn how we can offer an optimum aging experience experience for you or a loved one.
You're listening to a special edition of the Berwick Bulldogs Coaches Show, featuring a conversation with Coach Andy Mahaley. Now let's get back to the conversation. Here's the voice of the Dogs, Jim Doyle.
We have a real treat for high school football fans tonight, the rebroadcast of the much-anticipated 1992 season opener, Glen Mills at Berwick. Prior to the rebroadcast, we're taking a trip down memory lane with Andy Mahaley, a standout player for the Bulldogs in the early 70s and later an assistant coach in the program for some 34 seasons. Andy, that Glen Mills team was loaded with talent, led by two outstanding running backs, Chris Dickerson and Keno Shawwell. To hold them to 7 points is impressive. Your defensive responsibilities as a coach were the linebackers. Tell us who they were and what skill set they had.
Well, we had Billy Hetler, and we had
David
Popane as our inside linebackers, and our outside linebackers with Jason Soboleski. We also had, I think, Greg Michaels played a lot of defensive end for us, and our defensive front. I mean, it was just, we did a lot of scheming at that time because we weren't that big, but we were able to twist, we were able to slant. Our linebackers were very mobile linebackers that could run to the ball pretty well, so we blitzed them a lot, and, you know, they worked our system very well with Coach Curry.
I'm not supposed to have favorites, but I have to admit that Billy Hetler was one of my favorite Berwick players. Just could do it all on both sides of the football. Again, not particularly big. Wouldn't meet all the standards, the eye test, if you would. But he was something special, wasn't he?
He was. Billy was special, and I could remember the last game of the year when we played Blackhawk when Jason Soboleski went down with an ankle injury. We put Billy in as a fullback and had a heck of a game. He scored a touchdown and caught a touchdown pass from Ron. But that was Billy. I mean, Billy was mostly geared to playing defense, which he did very well. But when we needed him on offense, he came up with the plays when we needed it.
You mentioned David Popane. He ended up having a terrific career at Berwick. In fact, a record-setting career. And from that linebacker position, the following season, 1993, he set the school record for tackles in the season, and then he later set the record for career tackles. What made him special?
He had athletic ability. Yeah, he was very quick to the ball. He was very smart. He studied the game films from the previous week, you know, how the other team was going to run their offense, and so he was always a student of the game, as Coach Curry would say.
Well, you mentioned linebackers. That was your responsibility on defense. You also coached the offensive line. We hear so much about the skill position players on that 1992 team, the Chris Orlandos and the Ron Polises, but the line was pretty good.
Yes, we had a nice line. We only had really three seniors, interior linemen. They were Anthony Saltasia, who was a very good football player. Our center was Jim Whitmire, and our other tackle was Ken Tonkinson. And then we had Bob Croup at one guard and John Stoker at the other guard. And we had a tight end, a senior tight end by the name of John Fulton. And worked very well together. They were very smart. Teams would try to scheme on them, and they would pick it up very easily. So they were very easy to coach. They were smart, and they were tough kids.
I saw a recent film clip from some school in Indiana that was they were having a protest of sorts, or might say a rally. They wanted to play football despite the COVID situation. And one person was holding a sign said, offensive linemen are essential workers. They are, aren't they?
They sure are. You know, they don't get a lot of credit when things are going. But if somebody misses a block or something, you sure know it. But no, those kids were really good to work with, and I was very blessed to be able to coach them.
We're talking to longtime Berwick assistant football coach Andy Mahaley prior to our rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills against Berwick at Crispin Field. More from Andy coming up on Sports Radio HLM.
For nearly 40 years, Kemmler's Family Restaurant has been serving appetite-pleasing breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You'll enjoy a dining experience that will keep you coming back again and again at Kemmler's Family Restaurant. Open Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. till 8 p.m., Saturday, 7 till noon, and 8 till 2 on Sunday. Kemmler's Family Restaurant on Route 11 next to Clayton Homes, where serving great food is a tradition. Serving it to you is their pleasure.
Northeast Pennsylvania, it's your home. And no matter what stage of life you find yourself in, what you rely on most is security. When that house becomes a home, the moment you get that new car, when your dreams become a reality, it's times like this when you have to look to the experts for advice and financial peace of mind. They're there with innovative products and services to help you with your financial future every step of the way. Together, they will help dreams and goals become reality. They are more than a bank. They're your neighbor. They are First Keystone Community Bank. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick, are your roofing experts for Luzerne, Columbia, and Montour counties. With 26 years of experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your decks, siding, or roofing? Specializing in metal and rubber shingles, most roofing work is done in one day. So remember the name, Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas. Call Red's Roofing, 752-4351. Owner Harry Titus, a proud supporter of the Berwick football team.
HLM.
See the winning lineup of Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and also quality pre-owned vehicles at Bear Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Berwick. They have a body shop and a full service center servicing all makes and models, and they've been servicing your community for over 30 years. Bear Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram has earned the highest possible ratings from Chrysler and the prestigious J.D. Power Award for Excellence. Need a truck? Bear has a vast inventory, including 2020 Ram Motor Trend Truck of the Year, or choose one of the 50 new Jeeps in stock. Bear Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, Pine Street in Berwick.
Neighbor Fence Company has fencing for where you want it, serving Columbia, Montour, and Luzerne counties. Neighbor Fence provides top-quality residential and commercial fencing, vinyl, chain link, wood, aluminum, and ornamental fencing, plus vinyl railing and specialty products. Neighbor Fence Company, 1140 State Route 239 in Wapwallopen. Call 570-752-4423 or visit them online at neighborfencecompany.com. Neighbor Fence Company is a proud sponsor of local youth athletic teams.
S.J. Kowalski Heating and Air Conditioning sells comfort. Since 1972, S.J. Kowalski understands the importance of doing business locally. They service what they sell and take pride in customer satisfaction. S.J. Kowalski is a trained comfort specialist, a Lennox dealer, and they are Northeastern Pennsylvania's premier dealer of Mitsubishi ductless mini-split systems. S.J. Kowalski also sells and installs energy-efficient Rinnai water heaters and geothermal systems. Call 1-888-KOWALSKI and ask about special promotions and zero-interest financing.
You're listening to a special edition of the Berwick Bulldogs Coaches Show, featuring a conversation with Coach Andy Mahaley. Now let's get back to the conversation. Here's the voice of the Dogs, Jim Doyle.
Tonight we have a real treat for area high school football fans. The best of Berwick football, a rebroadcast of the Bulldogs' 1992 season opener against Glen Mills at Crispin Field. Prior to that rebroadcast, our guest is longtime Berwick assistant coach Andy Mahaley. Andy, we've talked about the season opener. Let's talk about that entire season of 1992. It ended up with a 15-0 record, the school's second state championship, also its second USA Today mythical #1 ranking. If you look back at the final scores, every game looks like a rout. I know they weren't, but there was one really notable exception, and that was, you referred to the game earlier, Hazleton area on week 7. They came to Crispin Field. That was a real struggle, wasn't it?
Sure was. They had a really nice team. I think that was the first year that West Hazleton and Hazleton came together as a jointure, and they were a tough opponent. And I think our kids, after that game, Jim, you look at the scores after that game and what we did to opponents after that, I think that woke us up a little bit. I remember coming to practice that next week right after that game, and how the kids couldn't wait to get their helmets and shoulder pads on to go and prove themselves. And unfortunately for Coughlin, that was our next opponent, and I think we took it out on them. And if you look at the scores after that, I think, we pretty much had our way with most of the teams after that.
Yeah, the final score was 14-6, but it was 7-6 Berwick at Crispin Field against Hazleton area in 1992. Going to that final period, and I think it was the first play of the fourth quarter, when Ron Paulus ran 60 yards for a touchdown that kind of clinched it. We talked earlier about the running quarterback being part of the Berwick system. That came up big on a night where Ron struggled to throw the ball.
It sure did. I mean, that was that waggle keep that we ran many a times, and we ran it with Bo Orlando back in the day. We ran it with Davey Robbins. We ran it with Jeremy Chapin, and we always seemed to have success with that. But going back to that game, our defense, which a lot of times doesn't get a lot of credit, they kept us in that game. You know, it was a tight game. Our offense was having a tough time with the Hazleton defense. But a lot of guys on that defense, which you don't hear a lot of their names, but were very instrumental in that season. Guys like Randy Weaver, guys like Brad Kishbaugh. You know, we talked about Billy Hetler and Dave Beaupain, but our secondary, you know, they were very good defensively. And so we had a really complete team that year. And not only that, we had a good special teams. I get guys that go down on kickoff, like a Mike Sobolewski, and guys like Ryan Mason, who played both on defense and special teams. Those guys were really instrumental in helping us get that 15-0 record that year.
Well, you got by Hazleton area, then started to route people. You get to the Eastern Final, if you will, or the state semifinals against Mannheim Central on a windy, blustery afternoon at Hershey Park Stadium. And if I recall correctly, George Curry said, when I came out and checked the weather the way it was, the game plan that we had originally was changed a bit. But I think 42 runs to 15 passes.
Right. The wind was blowing pretty hard that day, so we were pretty limited to what we can do. And here again, to give that defense credit, because we were seeing a veer offense for the first time all year. And Mannheim was known to run that veer. But our kids studied the film. You know, it was assignment football, and they held them in check. They were averaging close to probably 40 points a game going into that game. And our defense just rose to the occasion, and we did just enough on offense to get ahead of them. And I think I don't know what the end of the score was, 20-some to 6, I think it ended up being. But, yeah, give that defense credit for what they held us in that, held us until we got the ball rolling on offense.
Yeah, 29-6 was the final in that game, and that takes you to the state final against Blackhawk. The state finals those days were played in Altoona, but it wasn't played when it was supposed to be played. There was a snowstorm in Altoona, a considerable one, on the day or the weekend when those state playoff finals were to be held. So they ended up playing very close to Christmas, December 19th. And the thing about that Blackhawk game is they scored first, and that was the first time all season your team trailed. Kind of a wake-up call.
Yeah, it was. But again, here comes the confidence in Ron Paulus. He just came back and said, hey, things will be okay. They settled down, and sure enough, basically, that was the last time they scored. And I think we put up, four touchdowns that day. But, it was a wake-up call. But again, we were planning to play the week before that snowstorm hit. And so we had an extra week, but once we got rolling, that team, I guess, they would put us some points.
That was one of the most emotional locker rooms I've ever been in afterwards. It was almost like, it was a celebration, obviously. 15-0 season, wall-to-wall, number one in the country from start to finish. But it seemed like it was a relief also, because we talked about the pressure and how well the kids handled it, but it was pressure nevertheless, and that kind of broke out after that game.
Yeah, actually there was a lot of tears in that locker room, not of happiness, but the sadness, because they didn't want it to end. This is the last time that they would be playing with Ron or Jason Sobolewski, those guys. So a lot of the seniors knew that was their last game. And, for the season, the pressure that was on them all year, it weighed down on them. And, they think it was more of a sadness because they wanted to keep going. They didn't want that season to end. It was a great group of guys that played together. They were best of friends. And, they realized that was the last time they were ever going to put on a Berwick helmet, those seniors.
The late George Curry is the only person with more seasons with the Bulldogs than our guest, Andy Mahaley. Next up, we'll ask Andy about the football genius of George Curry. You're listening to the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
Yannick Real Estate is your full-service real estate agency. Buying, selling, residential, commercial, multifamily, land, and rental management. Call Yannick Real Estate. Owner Mike Yannick, a veteran himself, served his country and has been serving this area for decades. Mike and his staff will guide you through the real estate process. Veterans, be sure to check the VA loan options. Yannick Real Estate, your full-service real estate agency. 1232 West Front Street in Berwick. Call 759-3300.
We're Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg, home of the Blaze Alexander lowest price guaranteed. Whether it's a new GMC Sierra 4x4, Acadia, or Terrain, or any of the full lineup of Buick SUVs, you'll get the lowest price guaranteed. We've got a huge selection of quality pre-owned vehicles too. Local one-owner cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Why shop anywhere else when you'll get the best selection, the best financing, and the most for your trade at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. We're taking deals the other guys won't.
You've been sitting at home glaring at those piles of junk, wondering what you're going to do with it all. At J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling, they'll help you donate the good, get rid of the bad, and hide the ugly. Make your appointment today to make it all go away by calling J-Dog at 844-438-5364. Check out the reviews on Facebook and Google or stop by their homepage at jdog.com. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is proudly veteran-owned and operated.
HLM.
Chill out this summer with free and easy checking from First Columbia Bank and get a free gift. Enjoying the benefits of free and easy checking is effortless and gives you free access to 17 First Columbia ATMs and 55,000 free all-point and Sheets ATMs for when you hit the road. Plus, for a limited time, get a free Arctic Zone insulated tote when you open a new checking account or refer a friend. It's perfect for picnics, parties, and road trips and will keep your food hot or cold for hours. First Columbia Bank, with you every step of the way. Restrictions and data rates may apply.
Mason's Monogramming has the largest selection of Bulldog items in Berwick. Family owned with more than 30 years experience and new Bulldog wear for every age, including masks, tees, polos, sweater shirts, jackets, and hats. They even have brand new indestructible silicone cups, koozies, car coasters, decals, and more. Shop at masonsmonogram.com for their new items and select in-person pickup or shipping right to you. Follow their Instagram at Mason's Monogram for their latest new items. Mason's Monogram service in Berwick. Let them personalize for you.
You're listening to a special edition of the Berwick Bulldogs Coaches Show, featuring a conversation with Coach Andy Mahaley. Now let's get back to the conversation. Here's the voice of the Dogs, Jim Doyle.
In just a few minutes, we're going to take you back to September 4th, 1992 for the rebroadcast of the Berwick season opener against Glen Mills at Crispin Field. The start of an unbeaten season for George Curry's Bulldogs. Curry was Berwick's head coach for 39 seasons. Our pregame guest, Andy Mahaley, spent 37 seasons in the program, 3 as a varsity player and 34 as an assistant coach. And Andy, your sophomore year, your first year of varsity football, here comes this guy from Lake Lehman as a new head coach, and George Curry, young guy, 26 years old. What was that like? How was it different around Berwick football when the new guy came to town?
Well, we knew right away that we had to work, and he put us to work right off the bat. Those 3-a-day practices, most guys that they go 2-a-days, but we were going 3-a-days. And he had that, we knew right then that he was going to get the most out of us. And that was his thing throughout his whole coaching career. He got the best of the players that he coached. And if you worked hard for him, he would make sure later that he would work hard for you if it came to going to a college or going to a job. It's like George was that type of guy, but he was, to me, way ahead of the game back in 1971. We had Gary McCutcheon as a quarterback, and we were running spread offenses and doing things that probably in our area weren't seen. Everybody was running a run type of offense, but with back then, Coach Curry had that offense going big time.
Andy, next week on the Best of Berwick Football, we're going to run the rebroadcast of the Coughlin at Berwick game from October of 2015. That was the last regular season home game for George Curry, who would die of ALS the following spring. It was quite a turnout of former players and kind of a spontaneous, inspired by social media, literally hundreds of his ex-players forming a tunnel, started in the end zone, went to midfield. And you were right there. In fact, helping George, was really feeble from the illness at the time, go through that human tunnel of former players. That had to be one of the real emotional times of your career, which lasted so long.
It was, Jim, and I felt so good for Coach that he was able to see the players that came back and honored him, not only from Berwick, from the teams that he coached at Lake Lehman. There were players there. There was players from Valley West. But to see those Berwick kids that come back 25, 30 years prior and to honor Coach Curry, you know, he knew this was going to be his last season. You know, he didn't know, you know, how long he was going to live, but he knew that this was his last season. And to see him honored by those ex-players that came back, and I think he was really touched, and he was honored that those kids came back and gave him that type of going away.
Under the circumstances, how difficult was that final season?
It was. I mean, those seniors that never had an opportunity to be, or those players that never had an opportunity to be coached by Coach Curry and a healthy Coach Curry, was different. We had to run our practices a lot different. We didn't do a lot of individual drills like we would normally do, but we did a lot of teamwork and coaches. The one thing that was going bad on him was his voice, and he had a tough time communicating that to the kids, and so he utilized a lot of the assistants to get those messages across, but he never gave up. Coach Curry was a battler. He was a battle-tested guy all his life. He never once missed a practice. He came in every day and worked his tail off the best he could.
You talked earlier about some of the traits that made him a good coach and the hard work that you had to put in when he first took over in 1971. But a lot of coaches work hard and are demanding and this and that and all those characteristics, but he just was something special. What was it about him?
He knew how to get the best out of everybody. He knew what would make it work, and he instilled confidence in you. You know, I mean, the way we worked and the way we prepared for teams that, you know, I think his preparation for games was second to none. And he made you better than what you really were in a way. He made you a better football player, confidence-wise. He often talked about you can have physical toughness, but the good ones have mental toughness too. And he instilled that mental toughness in us. And I think that was made him special. Besides the X's and O's and all the things, but just to get the best out of every player that he could, you know. And, you know, it wasn't only football. He wanted you to do good in the classroom. He wanted you to do good when you were hanging outside the football walls. He wanted you to make sure that you were the best person that you can possibly be. And he brought that out in all of us.
Well, you were by his side for many, many of those 39 years that he was at Berwick. Andy, I really enjoyed this nostalgic look at Berwick football. Rebroadcast coming up. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you, Jim. I did. And it's good to go back memory lane once in a while because I had to look up some things that you were going to ask me. I forgot. 28 years ago, Jim. I don't even know where my glasses are half the time or my keys. But no, it was really nice to go back to 1992 and rehash that or relive that season. It was a special one.
Our guest, Andy Mahaley. Stay tuned now for a rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener on the Best of Berwick Football on Sports Radio HLM.
You've been listening to a special edition of the Berwick Bulldogs Coaches Show, an interview with former Berwick star and longtime assistant coach Andy Mahaley. Brought to you by First Columbia Bank and Trust, with you every step of the way. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling, veteran and military family owned and operated. S.J. Kowalski Heating and Cooling, the way the earth intended. J. Lilo Jewelers, 140 East Main Street, Bloomsburg. Mason's Monogram Service for all your Bulldog merchandise. Neighbor Fence Company, residential and commercial fencing. First Keystone Community Bank, yesterday's traditions, tomorrow's vision. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick, for all your home improvements. Yannick Real Estate, commercial and residential. Alexander Family Dealership, Central Road in Bloomsburg. Brookdale Senior Living, 420 Schaefer Road in Bloomsburg. And by Kemmler's Family Restaurant, Route 11 between Bloomsburg and Berwick. Now, stay tuned for the best of Berwick Bulldogs football on Sports Radio HLM.
HLM. AccuWeather.
Mainly cloudy, warm, and humid, with a shower and a thunderstorm Friday night. Low 69. Cloudy, not as warm, but humid on Saturday, with a shower and a thunderstorm high 81. Rain and a thunderstorm Saturday night. It will be humid, low 57. Partly sunny and pleasant on Sunday, high 77. I'm AccuWeather's Jonathan Reed for News Radio HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick. The Valley Sports Leader, HLM.
Sports Radio HLM proudly presents the best of Berwick football, a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener between Berwick and Glen Mills. Brought to you by First Columbia Bank and Trust, with you every step of the way. Forge Pub and Eatery, West 11th Street in Berwick. Bear, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Berwick. Berwick Dental Arts, quality care for your dental health. Berwick Notary Center, Orange Street in Berwick. Mason's Monogram Services for all your Bulldog merchandise. The Medicine Shop, East 9th Street in Berwick. Neighbor Fence Company, residential and commercial fencing. First Keystone Community Bank, yesterday's traditions, tomorrow's vision. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick for all your home improvements. Yannick Real Estate, commercial and residential. The Mayo Funeral Home of Berwick and Chickshitty. Your Berwick State Farm agents Lori Powell, Sean Black, and Melissa Price. Hometown agents who understand Berwick's needs. Riverview Block Inc. of Berwick. Alexander Family Dealership, Central Road in Bloomsburg. Access Gymnastics Academy, East 7th Street in Bloomsburg. Romeo's Italian Submarines, 1306 Orange Street in Berwick. Independence Ford, Route 11 in Bloomsburg. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling, veteran and military family owned and operated. Tri-County Lumber, South Poplar Street in Berwick. Welsh's Towing and Repair, towing, recovery, and lockout services. S.J. Kowalski Heating and Cooling, the way the earth intended. Jeffrey McKinnon, financial advisor with Ameriprise Financial Services, Inc. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. J. Lilo Jewelers, 140 East Main Street in Bloomsburg. Brookdale Senior Living, 420 Schaefer Road in Bloomsburg. Wagner's Trophies and Engravables, Main Street in Bloomsburg. Steph Subs, lunch, dinner, or anything in between. Robert G. Dent, Heating and Air Conditioning in Light Street. Gordner Coombs Insurance, Main Street, Millville, Reston Shore. Flick Brothers Electric, Maple Lane, Bloomsburg, appliance sales and service. Bloom Heating, providing you with heating oil and off-road diesel fuel. And by Briar Creek Mutual Insurance Company in Bloomsburg. Now, with Andy Hulickney, here's the Dean of the Dogs, Jim Doyle, on Sports Radio HLM.
Hi, this is Jim Doyle. If you're a high school football fan like I am, you were hoping to be at a game tonight, as August 28th was supposed to be the opening night of the 2020 season. Tomorrow night, thousands of area fans were expected at Crispin Field in Berwick for the highly anticipated Southern Columbia-Berwick game, a dream matchup of two programs that have combined for 16 state championships. Unfortunately, the season is on a 2-week delay, and when it starts, it will include only conference games. So the game between the Tigers and Bulldogs has been canceled. Hopefully those teams will meet to open the 2021 season. To whet the appetite of area football fans, Sports Radio HLM tonight brings you perhaps the most anticipated season opener in Berwick High School football history. Late in the summer of 1992, the USA Today came out with their high school football national rankings. Sitting at number 1 in the preseason, the Bulldogs of Berwick, coached by the legendary George Curry and led by one of the nation's top recruits, senior quarterback Ron Paulus, who would be named the Gatorade Circle of Champions National Football Player of the Year at the end of that season. Their opening opponent on that September 4th night at Crispin Field, Glen Mills, a Philadelphia area powerhouse that had beaten Berwick the previous season. The Bulls were led by two highly recruited running backs in Chris Dickerson and Keno Shawwell, and were given honorable mention by the USA Today. Crispin Field was electric that night. Not only was there a capacity crowd, but also unprecedented media coverage from the likes of ESPN and the USA Today. I hope you enjoy this nostalgic look at a great meeting, the Bulldogs against the Bulls, September 4th, 1992 from Crispin Field. I was joined by Andy Hulickney on the call. We pick up the action in the first quarter with Berwick marching off the opening kickoff.
Brought down by the right outside linebacker, Jason Willis. But another strong effort by the big senior fullback. 1st and 10 Berwick at the Glen Mills 23-yard line on consecutive carries. 19 yards and 13 yards by Jason Sobolewski.
Not just the power, Jim, but he's getting some great blocks up front. Off the left side, Tony Saltage is creating the seam.
Scott Berlin is a wingback now to the left side from the 23-yard line. A fake to Sobolewski. Paulus keeps it. Goes outside of the 15. Carries tacklers inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Kane Jackson makes the stop for Glen Mills. But Berwick on a roll in their first possession. 1st and goal at the Glen Mills 8.
Doing a lot strategically to set the pace. The staggered snap count, then Sobolewski up the middle with some fine cross blocking. Now fake to Sobolewski and the excellent running of Ron Paulus outside. The defense is converging to stop that quick hitter inside because it's been so effective. Paulus had the outside, and he's a super runner.
Greg Michael, the tight end on the left side. First down and goal for Berwick at the Glen Mills 8-yard line. Backs in an open set. There's the shift. Glen Mills does not go for it this time. Mike Sobolewski at the tailback gets the call off the left side. And this time it's tough going. Gets a yard, maybe 2 on the play. Close to the 6-yard line of Glen Mills. Kane Jackson, the cornerback. Vermont Taylor, the linebacker. Combined on the stop for the Bulls.
Strategy to create an overload. They went with an unbalanced line to the left. They shifted the wing back between the 2 guards of the unbalanced and then tried to go. They're hoping Glen Mills wouldn't adjust to the unbalanced, but their pursuit was still able to snuff out that play.
Brandon Hans, number 84, is in the Berwick lineup. Tight end to the left side. Bill Hetler, a tight end on the right. Now Hans comes out of the lineup. Berwick from the 7-yard line with a second down and goal. Paulus fakes handoff, keeps the football, hit and dropped after a short gain. Good defensive work. Johnny Stevenson, Richard James, the linebackers for Glen Mills. And Paulus brought down by that quick duo at the 6-yard line. It's going to be a third down and goal for Berwick.
Berwick, of course, renowned for its passing. Paulus's arm is what gives them that #1 rating in the country, and we've had a running drive. I think now we're going to see a passing situation here on 3rd and 6 with goal to go.
Chris Orlando wide right, Ryan Mason in the slot to the right, Pecorelli wide left. 3rd and goal, Berwick at the 6. Pecorelli in motion to the right side. Paulus takes the snap. He's rolling to his right. Fires to Pecorelli. Has it for Berwick. Touchdown. Paulus to Pecorelli, and Berwick's on the board.
Tremendous drive. On that play, they just cleared with the wide receivers. They ran slant-in patterns. They're trying to cover it man for man using the linebacker to follow Pecorelli. Could not stay with them. That very short route, a quick outside position step, and he was open. Paulus put it right where he needed to put it. Easy catch, and that drive just looked like clockwork.
So Berwick, on their first possession, goes 60 yards for the initial score of the ball game. And the Bulldogs having a little bit of confusion on the extra point attempt. They may have to burn a timeout here, as they couldn't get the tee, but Paulus comes on now.
Well, if they take a delay here, Jim, you're still going to kick it. Instead of kicking it from the 3-yard stripe, you might kick it from the 7, and that's not that big of a difference. It might not be worth wasting the timeout.
So they will hurry on, and Paulus will attempt the extra point. The snap is low, and Pecorelli gives it to Paulus. He's scrambling around, fires into the end zone, incomplete. So the extra point attempt fails, and there's timeout on the field with the score. Berwick 6 and Glen Mills nothing. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
Are you looking to meet an elder care need? Do you or a loved one need assistance with any of the instrumental or basic activities of daily living? Brookdale Senior Living has a solution. Brookdale Bloomsburg, located at 420 Schaefer Road, is a premium personal care home offering a family atmosphere along with round-the-clock nursing care. Call 570-387-6868 to learn more. Better yet, we invite you to drop in and meet the Brookdale family and learn how we can offer an optimum aging experience for you or a loved one.
IndependenceFord.com is officially announcing the biggest pre-owned vehicle sale in Independence Ford's 35-year history. Huge discounts, great trade values, and the lowest interest rate in years. If you need a vehicle, now is the time. Need a deal on a new vehicle? How about 0% for 84 months on 2019 F-150s? And ask about their lifetime oil change program on all new car sales. Now is the time to shop IndependenceFord.com. Independence Ford, 3101 Columbia Boulevard. Better people, better prices.
Riverview Block of Berwick, with over 75 years of service, can handle all your block and concrete needs. They carry all sizes of concrete block, including decorative E.P. Henry landscaping block. Their concrete is PennDOT approved and delivered with front discharge trucks. Riverview Block also carries masonry supplies, tools, cement, sand, and stone. For prompt delivery, call Riverview Block, 570-752-7191. Riverview Block is proud to support the Berwick Bulldogs.
HLM.
Ask Ameriprise financial advisor Jeffrey McKinnon about the exclusive Confident Retirement approach. It's a personalized, flexible, step-by-step approach toward financial balance. Call Jeff today at 570-520-4137. Offices are located at 22 South Prospect Street in Nanticoke, PA, and 118 East 3rd Street in Berwick, PA. The Confident Retirement approach is not a guarantee of future financial results. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, a registered investment advisor.
Welsh's Towing and Repair proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs and wishes them a successful year. Welsh's Towing and Repair has a long tradition of helping. You can call Welsh's 24/7 at 759-9737 if you are in need of a tow, jump start, tire change, are locked out, or to request them on scene if you're in an accident. Welsh's accepts all major insurance and motor clubs, and they offer all types of preventive maintenance and state inspections for cars, trucks, and motorcycles. Welsh's Towing and Repair, South Mercer Street in Berwick, and at their South Center Storage Facility, Columbia Boulevard in Berwick.
Berwick Bulldog football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills of Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
For Berwick fans that are superstitious, that first drive for the Bulldogs, while impressive, might bring back some bad memories. Last year, Berwick's first possession at Glen Mills, drove the field, scored to lead 6-0, but missed the extra point, ended up losing the game by a single point. Jason Sobolewski will kick off. Bulldogs with an impressive 60-yard, 6-play drive on their first possession. Sobolewski will kick off. Carl Pugh and Derek Anderson deep. The kick goes to Pugh up the middle of the 7-yard line, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, and he's buried about the 26, perhaps the 27-yard line. David Beaupain in on the play along with Jason Canals for the Bulldogs. And Glen Mills with their first possession of the evening, 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Tremendous offensive drive by Berwick, but missing the conversion points does bring back memories of last year. Jim ended up playing catch-up the whole time trying to make up that point. I think they're indecisive. They were thinking of going for 2, decided on 1, had trouble with the tee, and then hurried if they weren't looking for the snap at that time.
1st and 10 for Glen Mills, the 26-yard line. Dickerson is the tailback in the eye. He gets the call off the left side, lowers the shoulder, brought down, though, after a short gain on the play, up to the 28, maybe the 29-yard line. Bill Hetler made the tackle. Hetler and Fedeko are the linebackers across the front. Jason Sobolewski, Brad Kishbaugh, David Beaupain, a starting linebacker last year, now nose guard. Tony Saltation, John Lipsy. The secondary, Ryan Mason and B.J. Hayes at the corners. Chris Orlando and Mike Bennett at the safeties. Berwick with 2 sophomores. Mike Bennett, B.J. Hayes in that secondary. 3 yards for Chris Dickerson to the 29. 2nd down and 7 for Glen Mills at that point. Dickerson again, the tailback, takes the toss, tries to sweep right side, turns the corner at the 30, the 35, and out near the 40-yard line. Chris Orlando makes the tackle from the secondary, but Chris Dickerson showed what he can do. He got a great block. I'm not sure who made it, but coming up from the corner was Ryan Mason to try to make the play, and he was knocked flat. And Dickerson finally brought down by Chris Orlando at the 39, a pickup of 10, 1st and 10.
Block was by his backfield mate, Keno Shawwell. He runs some strong isolation blocking. Berwick feels they can stop the outside play if they can keep it going wide. They can control that speed. It's the power in that backfield that gives them some fits. They don't know if their corners can take on those types of blocks.
Slot to the right side, backs in an open set. Jones gives the ball to Shawwell. He's going to try to sweep the left side, turns the corner at the 45. Midfield has another 1st down for the Bulls. Mike Bennett, sophomore safety, comes up to make the play for Berwick. We mentioned Berwick with 2 sophomores in that secondary, and that's a lot of pressure on 2 kids in a game like this, but from all accounts, they are 2 exceptional athletes.
Well, they're in there because they're better than the juniors and seniors they're competing with. George Curry likes to see that type of superstar talent, but I don't think he'd like to see them in those positions. Those are positions where experience really helps. They're going to be, blue chippers and Division I type prospects their senior year, but right now they're going to have to learn it as they go at varsity level.
11 yards for Shawwell. 1st and 10, Glen Mills just over midfield in Berwick territory. Again from the I formation. Dickerson, the tailback, gets the call. Jason Sobolewski wraps him up, and then Beaupain adds to the play. And there's a gain of about a half yard on the play. And if you recall the opener last year, it was Jason Sobolewski having a very, very so-so game, just kind of learning the defensive end position. By the end of the year, he was dominant and appears to be picking up at that point.
He had impressed people with his fullback, his blocking. It was a position where the skill, the intensity played out. Defensively, you have to learn the reads and learn to make the instinctive moves. It took him a few games to get the feel of that. Now he's the best around.
2nd down and 9. Glen Mills, the Berwick 49-yard line, backs in an open set this time. Long count by Jones, gives to Dickerson off the right side, breaks one tackle and another, close to a 1st down as he gets to the Berwick 40-yard line. Brad Kishbaugh, 6'4", 212-pound senior, makes the stop for Berwick, but an impressive run by Chris Dickerson. He is just a beautiful running back to watch. and he's short a yard of the first down. It's 3rd and 1 for Glen Mills, just short of the Berwick 40.
Berwick is going with different defensive schemes. That time they were firing linebackers. They came hard, sliding down with Nick Pateko, and he just missed catching the play from the backside. It's going to take a lot to catch Dickerson from the backside with his 4.45 speed.
I formation from the Berwick 40-yard line, just a yard to go for the first down. Dickerson gets the pitch, has the first down, and then some as he gets to the 33-yard line. Dickerson off the left side, and Glen Mills driving on their first possession. Mike Bennett on that last stop. 5 minutes, 51 seconds to go in the quarter. Berwick scoring in their first possession. Glen Mills driving on their first. 6-0 Berwick, but Glen Mills 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 33.
Sometimes when you have this much speed on an offense, you have a tendency to want to get too tricky and to try to get wide into open field. But they have the power, and they realize this is a power drive, and then the speed is profiting from the gaping holes that they're creating.
Anderson on a wing to the right, backs at an open set. Jones from the 33-yard line with a 1st and 10. The pitch is to Dickerson, tries the right side. That's Shawwell, I should say, and he is brought down after a very short gain. Fine defensive play by Brad Kishbaugh. Kishbaugh, the senior, 6'4", 212-pounder. As Shawwell took the pitch, tried the right side, but Kishbaugh was up to the task. They give him 2 yards to the 31, 2nd down and 8 for the Bulls.
Now that these teams are more familiar with themselves, they're able to work on films from previous years. They notice in the film work that when the guards pull, the play is always going that way. So Coach Curry and his staff have worked with the defense to follow the pulling guard. Brad Kishbaugh, who's extremely quick, saw the guard pull. Tony Malozzi went right. He went right with him, was able to catch the play as the back was trying to read the hole.
We have an official's timeout right now with 5 minutes and 5 seconds to go in this first quarter. Gives us an opportunity to look around and span the crowd from our position above the 50-yard line at the press box here at Crispin Field. And I don't know what this place seats, but it's got that and then some. I mean, they are 5 and 6, maybe 10 deep in the end zone standing around this field. As Glen Mills with the football, we're back to action, 2nd down and 8. They have it at the Bulldog 31-yard line. Jones calling the signals from there. From the I formation, they're going to option to the left side. The quarterback, Jones, keeps the ball, cuts it to the 25 and down to the 23-yard line. Gang tackled there. Mike Bennett from his safety position among the people in on the play. But DeMond Jones on the option left kept the football. And, boy, when you have Dickerson trailing outside, you've got to respect that threat. So Jones kept it and came up a yard short of the first down yardage.
Very bright call. They noticed people chasing wide and following those guards and getting out with that tailback. So let the quarterback keep it, create the inside seam when the defense runs to the outside to the running back. That was a bright call by the coach.
3rd down and 1. Glen Mills with the football at the Berwick 24-yard line. Slot to the right, backs in an open set. Shawwell and Dickerson are the running backs. The pitch to Dickerson. Quick one off the left side. Not much, but enough for the first down as he gets to about the 22-yard line. Bill Hetler makes the stop from his linebacker position for Berwick. So an impressive drive strictly on the ground for Glen Mills. 1st and 10 at the Berwick 22-yard line.
Quick pitch allows that speed to be used, but when you can put him one-on-one with anybody where they need a yard, the defense still has to worry about the big play. You have to square up and make that tackle conservatively. So even though they only needed a yard, defensive end on that side, John Lipsky realized, hey, I can't let the guy get a touchdown. He had to play it and make the short tackle. He was one-on-one, and he did do that.
This is an impressive drive by the Bulls. Started at their 26-yard line, and now it's reached the Berwick 22-yard line. 1st and 10. Now some confusion on the part of the Bulls, and they try to call a timeout, but not in time. And it'll be a delay of game, a 5-yard penalty, a walk-off to the 27-yard line. Andy, when we saw this team a couple of years ago at Crispin Field, actually when this series starts, this is the 4th game, but back in 1989, they had a lot of sloppy penalties. They have improved leaps and bounds every year we've seen them in that respect.
They really have. I think what they're getting is more of a consistency in the program. A lot of their players now have been there a few years. There's a lot more attention to athletics at the school. They feel it's, the educational value for what they're trying to do for these individuals has an impact. So they're really dedicating to it. You can see the discipline now over the years.
1st and 15 from the 27-yard line. Shawwell gets the call off the right side, spins by one tackler, and then Jason Sobolewski, who had him a little bit earlier than that, was able to come back and wrap him up as they're going to mark the football down around the 25-yard line. Ryan Mason, the corner, in there as well, as Shawwell got the call.
It's interesting to see a team. You know, we've been watching Dickerson. Dickerson, highly recruited. Some people say the number one running back in the country. Shawwell had 1,000 yards last year. Dickerson's had now 7 carries. That's only Shawwell's second. I never remember a program that returned 2,000 yards runners. I guess SMU did it a couple of years back.
2nd and 9. Glen Mills at the Berwick 21-yard line. 6 yards in that carry. Dickerson gets the call. Hit behind the line of scrimmage, and he's buried. Jason Sobolewski with tremendous penetration, and he got help. There is a flag on the play as Sobolewski across that line of scrimmage in a hurry, and a collision of 2 great ones there, Sobolewski and Dickerson. And we've got a holding call against Glen Mills.
Adds to it. Sobolewski really made the impact play they needed. You get a drive, it becomes a momentum thing. You know, right now, Glen Mills is in control of the game, even though they're losing 6-0. They're establishing momentum, causing some doubt in Berwick's mind. When Sobolewski crashes on the inside charge and knocks him backward, you know, the guy who's been hurting them, that really motivates the team and turns it around. Negate that holding call. Berwick will take the play.
So it is going to bring up a 3rd down and 12. 3rd and 12 for Glen Mills at the Berwick 24-yard line.
The impact players are the guy you turn to in the crisis, and Sobolewski, I think they made the mistake of calling a play in his direction. He's going to show them they ought to go the other side.
Derek Anderson on a wing to the right, backs in an open set. 3rd and 12 for Glen Mills. Big call as Jones is stacked to throw. He's looking to the sideline. He fires incomplete. Intended for Chris Dickerson, and a big hit put on him by the cornerback Ryan Mason. So now a 4th and 12 for the Bulls at the Berwick 24-yard line.
Oh, they certainly have the weapons to convert this. The pass comes in the passing situation. Their first pass of the game in 11 plays, coming when they know they have to pass. They have some good weapons, some tall receivers. Carl Pugh goes 6'1". Johnny Jones goes 6'6". I think that height could be a problem. But right now, in what's an obvious passing situation, Berwick can make some matchups that we want to see. And watch for the taller people on the taller receivers.
That tight end Jones, all 6'6", is wide to the right. Now Glen Mills late getting a player on, and they take too much time again. They try to get a timeout called. They couldn't get it going, so the Bulls self-destructing in the latter stages of this drive. And there's a 5-yard walk-off back to the 29, and now Glen Mills will use the timeout. Timeout, Glen Mills, exactly 2 minutes to go in the first quarter with the score. Berwick 6 and Glen Mills nothing. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
Berwick Notary Center, 1544 Orange Street, State Route 93, has been serving the Berwick community for over 50 years with the highest quality service as well as the lowest prices available. They offer services for driver's licenses, instant camera cards, registration renewals, boat, ATV, and snowmobile transfers. And they are messenger and agent approved. Open Monday through Friday, 9 till 5, and Saturday, 9 till 1. Check out their Facebook page or email them directly at berwicknotary@yahoo.com. Berwick Notary proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs. Go Dogs!
Forge Pub and Eatery on the corner of 11th and Mulberry Streets in Berwick are proud supporters of the 2020 George Curry Walk to Defeat ALS. Stop by during the walk for a chance to win a gift certificate. No purchase necessary. Just take your picture next to the George Curry banner during your virtual stop and post it to the ALS Walk Facebook page to enter. Social distancing will be in place, and you can always drop off a donation at Forge Pub and Eatery at 11th and Mulberry Streets in Berwick.
HLM.
If you have a child that's interested in gymnastics, or if you've been practicing the sport for years, then Access Gymnastics Academy is where you want to be. Their dedicated coaches will teach you everything you need to know to perform your best, from the basics of flexibility, form, and style to advanced techniques that will improve your rhythm and style during a routine. Call Heidi Rebuck at Access Gymnastics Academy at 570-441-5969. That's 570-441-5969. Now enrolling for beginner to advanced classes at 917 East 7th Street in Bloomsburg.
Northeast Pennsylvania, it's your home. And no matter what stage of life you find yourself in, what you rely on most is security. When that house becomes a home, the moment you get that new car, when your dreams become a reality, it's times like this when you have to look to the experts for advice and financial peace of mind. They're there with innovative products and services to help you with your financial future every step of the way. Together, they will help dreams and goals become reality. They are more than a bank. They're your neighbor. They are First Keystone Community Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Berwick Bulldog football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills of Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
Jim Doyle, Andy Lickney, our spotter Brian Bauer from Crispin Field in Berwick on the opening night of the 1992 high school football season. Jam-packed crowd in here to see two high school football powers, Berwick and Glen Mills. Berwick on their first possession, a 6-play, 60-yard scoring drive. Extra point failed, but they are up 6-0. Glen Mills had a beautiful drive going. They had a 1st and 10 at the Berwick 22, but a couple of penalties have hurt. And following this Glen Mills timeout, the Bulls face a 4th down and 17, and they have the football at the Berwick 29-yard line.
Type of situation you can look for a trick play. That's not the strength of this team, but they have the people that can break for the long ones.
Backs in an open set. Shawwell and Dickerson. There's a slot to the left side. Jones, the tight end, to the right. And Dalman Jones back to throw, looking long into the end zone. The ball is tipped and incomplete. Mike Bennett got his hands on the football. The ball was well thrown, intended for Carl Pugh. Dickerson was also in that area. And the ball on target. Good play by the sophomore Bennett. And Berwick takes over the football, 1st and 10.
A lot of responsibility in that safety position. They went at the sophomore. They knew where he was. He played it very well. They want just to throw the ball up high, get people in the end zone, put it up there high, and hope that their athletes would be superior to Berwick's. Mike Bennett, though, really came through well, knocking that ball away.
1st and 10, Berwick, their second possession of the ball game. They have it at their 29-yard line. Jason Sobolewski gets it, and he stood up, and he'll lose a yard on the play. Johnny Stevenson, the linebacker, 6'2", 220-pound senior. He picked up Jason Sobolewski, who's 6'4", 225 pounds. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10, Berwick.
He is a physical specimen. I was down before the game looking for the officials to check on some rules, and I was over by the half house, and I saw him. I asked which way they went, and I said, "Thank you, sir." He's impressive.
2nd and 10, Berwick. Shotgun formation. Double slot formation. Paulus takes the snap, back to throw, fires over the middle. Pecorelli wide open in midfield. To the 45. Spins away from a tackler down to the 39-yard line. Paulus to Pecorelli. Jason Willis makes the stop. 1st and 10, Berwick. Ron Paulus' first pass of the season.
Well, they threw the touchdown pass, Jim, so it's the second, but that was beautiful. Pecorelli found a seam down the middle, and he had to make a difficult catch. He had to slow up and then go high for the ball. Pecorelli really was able to react back and make that difficult over-the-shoulder catch, and then some nice running after the catch.
33 yards on the catch. Second grab for Pecorelli. 1st and 10, Berwick at the Glen Mills 38-yard line. Paulus fakes handoff to Sobolewski, keeps the football, gets outside, 35, 30, 25, hit hard down at the 23-yard line. You have to respect Sobolewski up the gut. He showed his mettle in that first drive. So now when Paulus puts the ball in his belly and takes it out, Glen Mills is respecting Sobolewski. Paulus has room, picks up 15 yards, 1st and 10.
Third play of the game, he did that after going with Sobolewski up the gut, ran it for 15 yards. Same thing again. When a team is that aggressive and you go with that double dive look, take it inside and then bounce it out, you're going to find openings.
1st and 10, Berwick at the 23. Paulus straight drop back to throw. Fires a long field for Orlando. Berwick touchdown. Ron Paulus to Chris Orlando, and Berwick on the board again.
Just wonderful timing. They were worried about the blitzing of this team, and by having successful running plays, they've slowed the blitz down. 3-step drop. He faked inside from his wide receiver position, then belly down to the sideline. He was all by himself, Jim. The corner took the fake inside. Paulus right on the money with a beautiful throw. Just lofted it there in stride and walked it in.
2 possessions, 2 touchdowns for Berwick. Leading 12-0. They'll attempt the extra point. Paulus will kick. Pecorelli will hold. The snap is there. The placement. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field. 22 seconds remaining first quarter. With the score, Berwick 13 and Glen Mills nothing. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
Mason's Monogramming has the largest selection of Bulldog items in Berwick. Family-owned with more than 30 years' experience and new Bulldog wear for every age, including masks, tees, polos, sweater shirts, jackets, and hats. They even have brand new indestructible silicone cups, koozies, car coasters, decals, and more. Shop at masonsmonogram.com for their new items and select in-person pickup or shipping right to you. Follow their Instagram at Mason's Monogram for their latest new items. Mason's Monogram service in Berwick. Let them personalize for you.
We're Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg, home of the Blaze Alexander lowest price guaranteed. Whether it's a new GMC Sierra 4x4, Acadia, or Terrain, or any of the full lineup of Buick SUVs, you'll get the lowest price guaranteed. We've got a huge selection of quality pre-owned vehicles too. Local one-owner cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Why shop anywhere else when you'll get the best selection, the best financing, and the most for your trade at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. We're taking deals the other guys won't.
HLM.
Whether you need a dishwasher, refrigerator, stove, washer, dryer, microwave, or water heater, Flick Brothers Electric features low prices and top-notch customer service. Save on major name-brand appliances, including General Electric, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, KitchenAid, Maytag, Smeg, Fisher-Paykel, Speed Queen, Sharp, Amana, and more. Plus, they sell built-in the USA Viking appliances. They're all on display at Flick Brothers Electric, Maple Lane, Bloomsburg, for over 65 years. Call 570-784-3444.
Yannick Real Estate is your full-service real estate agency. Buying, selling, residential, commercial, multifamily, land, and rental management. Call Yannick Real Estate. Owner Mike Yannick, a veteran himself, served his country and has been serving this area for decades. Mike and his staff will guide you through the real estate process. Veterans, be sure to check the VA loan options. Yannick Real Estate, your full-service real estate agency. 1232 West Front Street in Berwick. Call 759-3300.
Berwick Bulldog Football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills and Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
Right here at 13-0 Berwick as the Bulldogs have scored in their first two possessions of the ball game. And now Jason Sobolewski will kick off. 4-play, 71-yard drive. The kick comes to Dickerson. He fumbles the football at the 18. The ball is loose. The scramble is on. Berwick indicating they have it. Nothing from the officials yet. We'll wait and see when they unpile. And it is Berwick football.
Dave Beaupain at the bottom of the pile. There must have been 15 people there, Jim. Berwick felt they had it. They kept pointing. No indication from Glen Mills. But as they kept moving people off, Dave Beaupain finally was able to get out from under that load, jumping up and down with the ball. There was a flag, but the officials are waving that off now, Jim.
First and 10 for Berwick at the Glen Mills 28-yard line. Bulldogs already leading it by a score of 13-0. Time for perhaps one more play here in the first quarter. Hollis from the shotgun. He's got a double slot formation, and he's straight drop back to throw. Fires over the middle. Ryan Mason at the 5. He's in for a Berwick touchdown. Ron Hollis to Ryan Mason, and Berwick's on the board again.
Go for the juggler. You have a great team, a great talent. You got to keep them down. After the big turnover, the defense comes out with their head down to go right for the end zone. Spread people very wide with people on the outside. They snuck Mason down the seam, right down the hash mark. Again, opening, wide open receivers. Paulus knew where to look, and again, right on target. That's his fourth completion. 3 of them for touchdowns. No incompletes yet tonight for him.
Hollis will attempt the extra point. Pecorelli will hold. Glen Mills jumps across. Now we'll see whether they were drawn across. If not, we may see Berwick change the strategy and go for 2 here.
They would like to get the other one back that they missed when they hurried it. They're sending the signal in to go for 2. Of course, there's a lot of beef up front. It's going to be hard to power. So even though you cut the distance in half, you think of a running situation, You might see something where Paulus does that fake inside, bounces it out, maybe with a run-pass option. It's going to be a tough yard and a half to gain.
And the Berwick coaching staff signaling for a timeout, and they get it. Glen Mills ready to line up, but Berwick does get the timeout with just 3 seconds. Let's keep it right here with 3 seconds to go in this first quarter of play. Ryan Mason, Andy, a year ago, primarily a running back, caught one pass during the course of the 1991 season. So he just equaled that in a big, big way.
What you do as a coaching staff, you sit down in the offseason, you look at your graduation losses, you look at your returning talent. They had too much talent at running back. They could see with the people they had that they had too many people. They were a little bit weak at the receiver position. They use receivers so much with Paulus's ability. They said, let's take this great talent from the backfield and use him where he can help the team more. With Pecorelli getting attention on the far right side, Orlando getting attention on the left, both have caught touchdown passes already today. You sneak him out of a tight slot formation. He goes down the hash, and the linebackers and safeties, they're just nowhere to be found. Nice play calling, but the execution just perfect. Paulus has been on target with all 4 passes, 3 for touchdowns. His receivers are making fine catches, and, they're going in standing up, Jim.
Well, let's see what Berwick comes up with after the timeout on the 2-point conversion try. Bill Hetler and Jason Sobolewski are the running backs. Paulus fakes to Sobolewski, keeps the football, breaks off a tackler, gets in there. There is a flag on the play. So Paulus got in for the 2, and we'll check the flag as he faked to Sobolewski. Boy, Sobolewski did a great job of faking him. He went high into the air as if he were hurtling over the staff. And it looks like a face mask call. We'll wait for Al Brogue to indicate. That's against Glen Mills. Decline. The 2-point conversion will go. Time out in the field. 3 seconds to go first quarter with the score. Berwick 21 and Glen Mills nothing. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick, or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
IndependenceFord.com is officially announcing the biggest pre-owned vehicle sale in Independence Ford's 35-year history. Huge discounts, great trade values, and the lowest interest rate in years. If you need a vehicle, now is the time. Need a deal on a new vehicle? How about 0% for 84 months on 2019 F-150s? And ask about their lifetime oil change program on all new car sales. Now is the time to shop IndependenceFord.com. Independence Ford, 3101 Columbia Boulevard. Better people, better prices.
Welsh's Towing and Repair proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs and wishes them a successful year. Welsh's Towing and Repair has a long tradition of helping. You can call Welsh's 24/7 at 759-9737 if you are in need of a tow, jumpstart, tire change, are locked out, or to request them on scene if you're in an accident. Welsh's accepts all major insurance and motor clubs, and they offer all types of preventive maintenance and state inspections for cars, trucks, and motorcycles. Welsh's Towing and Repair, South Mercer Street in Berwick, and at their South Center Storage Facility, Columbia Boulevard in Berwick.
HLM.
The Mayo Funeral Homes, located at 110 Chestnut Street in Berwick and 77 Main Street in Chickashinny, are proud sponsors of Berwick Bulldog football. The Mayo Funeral Homes, serving all faiths, makes it easier for those you love with pre-arranged funeral counseling, insurance, and pre-financed funerals. Mayo Funeral Homes also offers expert guidance in both traditional and cremation services. Mayo Funeral Homes, perfection in every detail.
Riverview Block of Berwick, with over 75 years of service, can handle all your block and concrete needs. They carry all sizes of concrete block, including decorative E.P. Henry landscaping block. Their concrete is PennDOT approved and delivered with front discharge trucks. Riverview Block also carries masonry supplies, tools, cement, sand, and stone. For prompt delivery, call Riverview Block, 570-752-7191. Riverview Block is proud to support the Berwick Bulldogs.
Berwick Bulldog football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills at Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
Jason Sobolewski will kick off. Carl Pugh and Chris Dickerson each for Glen Mills. Sobolewski's kick is very, very high. It is Derek Anderson who will let it go and whistles, and the play had been blown dead. I did not see the flag fall at midfield.
Apparently someone's lined up offside. That's the only way to blow it. That would be an infraction before the kick. Glen Mills must have had one of their people break that neutral zone. Here's the indication. It is offside. Glen Mills will re-kick it 5 yards closer.
Now, I mentioned Dickerson being back. That's a mistake on my part. After that fumble on the last kick, it is Derek Anderson and Carl Pugh deep, as Jason Sobolewski will kick once again, this time from the Berwick 45-yard line. Just 3 seconds to go in this first quarter. And that has been an impressive first quarter for the Bulldogs of Berwick. So Sobolewski has the signal from the officials. Approaches, and the kick is high and deep, and it will be taken at the goal line by Derek Anderson. To the 10, he's hit and dropped at the 12-yard line. Mike Sobolewski with a big open field tackle. There is a flag on the play.
Flipped by Glen Mills. Robert Charles was blocking upfield. I watched the block, saw him hit him from behind, and then watched the flag being thrown. Big hit like that, they'll sort this out and then change quarters, Jim.
It's what coaches like to call a gut check time for Glen Mills. Nothing has gone their way here in the first quarter. They trail it 21-0, and they will have the football, but they're going to have it deep in their own territory. Boy, they look very impressive on their first drive, but then a couple of penalties put it back as the first quarter has come to an end. With the score, Berwick 21 and Glen Mills 0. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog football, HLM.
Go Bulldogs from Tri-County Lumber on South Poplar Street, just off Route 11 in Berwick. From the planning stages to the purchase, all the way through to the last nail being hammered, the staff at Tri-County Lumber in Berwick is at your service. Located just off Route 11 on South Poplar Street, Tri-County Lumber offers professional design for your kitchen and bath, cabinetry, and countertops. The products and service you are looking for are located just off Route 11 in Berwick on South Poplar Street at Tri-County Lumber.
Ask Ameriprise financial advisor Jeffrey McKinnon about the exclusive Confident Retirement approach. It's a personalized, flexible, step-by-step approach toward financial balance. Call Jeff today at 570-520-4137. Offices are located at 22 South Prospect Street in Nanticoke, PA, and 118 East 3rd Street in Berwick, PA. The Confident Retirement approach is not a guarantee of future financial results. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, a registered investment advisor.
HLM.
IndependenceFord.com is officially announcing the biggest pre-owned vehicle sale in Independence Ford's 35-year history. Huge discounts, great trade values, and the lowest interest rate in years. If you need a vehicle, now is the time. Need a deal on a new vehicle? How about 0% for 84 months on 2019 F-150s? And ask about their lifetime oil change program on all new car sales. Now is the time to shop IndependenceFord.com. Independence Ford, 3101 Columbia Boulevard. Better people, better prices.
Welsh's Towing and Repair proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs and wishes them a successful year. Welsh's Towing and Repair has a long tradition of helping. You can call Welsh's 24/7 at 759-9737 if you are in need of a tow, jump start, tire change, are locked out, or to request them on scene if you're in an accident. Welsh's accepts all major insurance and motor clubs, and they offer all types of preventive maintenance and state inspections for cars, trucks, and motorcycles. Welsh's Towing and Repair, South Mercer Street in Berwick, and at their South Center Storage Facility, Columbia Boulevard in Berwick.
Berwick Bulldog football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills at Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
Ready to go with the second quarter of play before a jam-packed Crispin Field in Berwick. Glen Mills trailing Berwick by a score of 21-0. And we're going to have an officials timeout because of the weather, I believe. It's so extremely warm, and the officials will call a timeout and allow the Water Boys to come out and give the players from both teams a drink. Now, they've changed one thing about this. Going into this season, they're not allowing the coaches on the field during these timeouts. They used to do that, but now they'll just be able to take that water break. And it is extremely warm tonight, but Andy, Berwick can't play much better than they did through one quarter of play. I mean, they did nothing wrong.
They're just playing flawlessly, Jim. A tremendous game plan, tremendous athletes with excellent execution. They're forcing some mistakes, and then, you have a team down in the hole. One thing with a timeout like this, it breaks the momentum you've built a little bit. The officials are being as impartial as possible while still looking out for the safety of the players. They waited for a natural stoppage. They had to change sides for the quarter. So, that is very fair and unbiased in that way, but I'm sure Berwick would like just to keep things going, keep the attitude, and they want a strong defensive surge here.
1st and 10 for Glen Mills. The football at their own 9-yard line following that clipping penalty. In the I formation, Jones gives the ball to Dickerson, breaks the tackle, cuts it outside, 25, and ridden out of bounds across the way. Tremendous effort. Chris Orlando able to knock him out. Boy, what a combination of speed and power. Can you imagine in a high school, 6'1", 222 pounds, in a 4.45 40?
And we've seen players with speed, Jim, but speed and the moves. He made a beautiful move like he was going to run that over right guard. Planned it and just did that high step to the outside and then accelerated. Of course, Orlando also has the speed to stay with that. That could have had big play potential.
17 yards for Chris Dickerson. 1st and 10 Glen Mills at their own 26-yard line. And the give is to Keno Shawwell, the fullback, off the right side. He gets about 3. Ryan Mason comes from his quarterback position to make the stop for Berwick. Mason, a 5'9", 170-pound senior. They mark the football at the 28-yard line. Couple of yards, 2nd down and 8 for the Bulls.
Berwick's concerned if the secondary has to make the tackles. They realize, the physical people are up front, but so are the people for Glen Mills. If they can create that straight-ahead seam and force the secondary to stop everything, their speed should break a big touchdown.
2nd down and 8 from the 28-yard line. The pitch is to Chris Dickerson. The tailback turns the corner. 35, 40, 45, midfield, lowers the shoulder and is driven down at the Berwick 41-yard line. Big run by Dickerson. Chris Orlando and Mike Bennett, the Berwick safeties, combine on the play. But he is some running back. Now he comes up a little shaken up. Appears to be favoring that right arm, and he goes out of the Glen Mills lineup as the ball at the 41-yard line of Berwick, 1st and 10.
Again, they're winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. They have outstanding personnel, a good kick-out block by the fullback Shawwell. He broke away from one arm at the line of scrimmage, and then he's racing with those people in the secondary, and his speed is just superior.
Jason Knaus, a sophomore, is in the Berwick lineup as linebacker. 31-yard run by Dickerson. Now the pitch is to Shawwell as Dickerson's out of that lineup. He turns the corner, hurdles the tackler, gets inside the 35, down to about the 32-yard line. Andy, this is a big, big drive for Glen Mills. Trailing 21-0. There's still a long way to go, but nothing's gone their way. They really need to get on the board.
Well, their opening drive was 12 plays, Jim, and, Berwick played it tough. I think a team like this is prone to making some mistakes. They'll hurt themselves with penalties. They'll have a mental breakdown. They'll have a delay of game. If you force them into a long drive, somewhere they can hurt themselves. So Berwick's going to play it conservatively, but you don't want to see the 31-yarders and these 7-yarders at a clip.
Dickerson's still out of there. Dave McClendon has replaced him. 2nd down play, fumble by the quarterback. Jones picks it up and gets ahead for maybe a yard. Jason Knaus, that sophomore linebacker that we mentioned earlier, 5'10", 180-pound sophomore, makes the play as Chris Dickerson back in the lineup. They mark the football at the 33. Quick move by Jones to pick up a couple. It's a 3rd and 3 situation for Glen Mills at the Berwick 33-yard line.
Dickerson probably needed a bit of a rest, get some water. 10 carries for 76 yards so far in the half with 10 minutes to go. So he's in there fresh now.
Here's the 3rd down call at the Berwick 33-yard line. Glen Mills needs 3 yards to keep this drive alive. Jones pitches the ball to Dickerson, tries the left side, looking for yardage, has it, gets the first down to the 28-yard line. That time he followed his blockers beautifully. John Lipsey, a 6-foot, 200-pound junior, made the stop for Berwick, but not before Chris Dickerson has a 1st and 10 at the Berwick 28-yard line.
Very slow developing. Berwick had some penetration. Shawwell had to stop down to block. Dickerson had to slow down his momentum and push the blocker out of the way. I think he realized he wasn't going to make the big play, so he fought ahead, used his power to make sure he got that 1st down.
At the Berwick 28-yard line, Dickerson now is the fullback in the I formation. Shawwell is the tailback. And Keno Shawwell gets the carry, and he runs hard. Does he run to the 22-yard line? I mean, Keno Shawwell ran over tacklers before Mike Bennett made the stop.
Shawwell had 1,000 yards last year, and they put him in at fullback as a blocking back for the primary stud Dickerson. So when he gets his opportunity, he's going to make the most of it. He's a bit fresher. That's his 5th carry for 25 yards. Dickerson with 11 carries for 80. That's quite a tandem back there.
Berwick getting some fresh troops in there. Sean Carver at the nose now. 2nd down and 4 from the Berwick 22-yard line. Dickerson now the tailback, and Shawwell the fullback, and Dickerson gets the call, and Shawwell blocking, and Dickerson is hit and dropped as he gets to the 18, maybe the 17-yard line. Jason Sobolewski makes the play, but not before Glen Mills picks up another 1st down.
They have the running game rolling, Jim. It's time-consuming, though, and, at this point it is 21-0. Berwick would like to see them try the long running drive where they're eating up their own clock. A mistake, force a turnover. Boy, they're just moving the ball methodically on the ground. The line is doing a great job blocking, and the running backs are doing their part.
Again, I formation. Shawwell, the tailback in the I. He takes the pitch, sweeps the left side with Dickerson out in front, turns the corner at the 15 to the 10 to the 5, hurdles into the end zone for a touchdown. Tremendous effort by Keno Shawwell. Good blocking by Chris Dickerson, and Glen Mills is on the board.
They're blocking well for each other, and the running backs are really reading the play well. It's a toss sweep action, and they can turn it upfield anywhere from the guard or take it wide. So they're reading the blocks they're getting, and the people are staying with those blocks. They're fronting the people, pushing the Berwick defenders out of the way. And when the running back sees the daylight, he accelerates through it. He was hit around the 3-yard line, but his momentum was going to carry him into the end zone.
Lamont Nickens will attempt the extra point. Carl Pugh will hold. An impressive drive by Glen Mills, 91 yards. And a flag and whistles before the play got started, and too much time by the Bulls. That's the 3rd penalty of that variety against Glen Mills here in the 1st half.
Often in openers, Jim, because of the level of play we've been seeing and the caliber of these teams, we forget that it's an opener. One of the areas that's very difficult to practice in the preseason because the situation doesn't come up where you realize it's a weakness is communication between the sidelines and the field. If the kicker is strong, he should still be able to convert this.
Nickens will kick from 5 yards back. The kick is up, and he booms it. It's through. Timeout on the field. 8:07 to go in the 1st half of play with the score. Berwick 21 and Glen Mills 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
If you have a child that's interested in gymnastics, or if you've been practicing the sport for years, then Access Gymnastics Academy is where you want to be. Their dedicated coaches will teach you everything you need to know to perform your best, from the basics of flexibility, form, and style, to advanced techniques that will improve your rhythm and style during a routine. Call Heidi Rebuck at Access Gymnastics Academy at 570-441-5969. That's 570-441-5969. Now enrolling for beginner to advanced classes at 917 East 7th Street in Bloomsburg.
Northeast Pennsylvania, it's your home. And no matter what stage of life you find yourself in, what you rely on most is security. When that house becomes a home, the moment you get that new car, when your dreams become a reality, it's times like this when you have to look to the experts for advice and financial peace of mind. They're there with innovative products and services to help you with your financial future every step of the way. Together, they will help dreams and goals become reality. They are more than a bank. They're your neighbor. They are First Keystone Community Bank. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
HLM. We're Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg, home of the Blaze Alexander lowest price guaranteed. Whether it's a new GMC Sierra 4x4, Acadia, or Terrain, or any of the full lineup of Buick SUVs, you'll get the lowest price guaranteed. We've got a huge selection of quality pre-owned vehicles too. Local one-owner cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Why shop anywhere else when you'll get the best selection, the best financing, and the most for your trade at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg? We're taking deals the other guys won't.
Yannick Real Estate is your full-service real estate agency. Buying, selling, residential, commercial, multifamily, land, and rental management. Call Yannick Real Estate. Owner Mike Yannick, a veteran himself, served his country and has been serving this area for decades. Mike and his staff will guide you through the real estate process. Veterans, be sure to check the VA loan options. Yannick Real Estate, your full-service real estate agency. 1232 West Front Street in Berwick. Call 759-3300.
Berwick Bulldog Football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills of Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
21-7 is the Berwick lead now. An impressive drive by Glen Mills on that last possession. 8 plays, 91 yards for the score. Keno Shawwell going in from the 17-yard line.
All on the ground, too, Jim. They haven't completed a pass yet tonight.
Lamont Nickens will kick off, and his kick is short but very, very high at the 23-yard line. It's Ryan Mason. He's hit hard. He gets out over the 30 to about the 33-yard line. That's where Berwick will put it in play. Jeremy Heil makes the stop for Glen Mills. So Berwick, a team that has scored every time they've had the football tonight, takes over at their 33-yard line, 1st and 10. Andy, we talked about Glen Mills in their last possession needing a score. Right now, they need a stop.
They do, and Berwick, I think, would like to gain momentum by establishing the run. All 3 touchdowns were on passes, but run has been effective.
Jason Sobolewski up the middle, breaks the tackle, carries tacklers to the 40-yard line. The big fullback running hard as he gets about 7 on that play. As he just dragged tacklers, Terrell Gillette finally dragged him down. Gillette 6'4", 226-pound senior.
Sobolewski's had quite a good half. That's his 4th carry for 49 yards. He's been breaking some big ones off, big chunks, getting some nice seams open by his linemen, that time resorting more to his own power.
Trips to the left side. 2nd down and 3 for Berwick. Hollis gives to Sobolewski again, and look at him carry tacklers out to the 48-yard line. Glen Mills looked like they had it stacked up, and then you saw the stack move. And when it was all over, Jason Sobolewski had a 1st down.
Takes incredible strength, and normally you can see a guy put his head down and power ahead very low. But he runs a little bit high, and he was just able to twist and keep the legs churning. So to maintain that type of power and strength, even in that position, and move that mile, shows the level of his intensity.
8 yards on the carry, 1st and 10. Berwick, their own 48-yard line. Hollis fakes to Sobolewski, keeps the football, high steps it over midfield, and finally dragged down at the 43-yard line of Glen Mills. Jason Willis, Jarrell Carroll make the stop. That's been a very effective play for Berwick here tonight.
Berwick opened the game. 2 carries by Sobolewski, then faked him and have Paulus run wide. Glen Mills looks like they're trying to get a timeout call, Jim. They need to regroup here. They can't afford to let another touchdown be scored.
6 minutes, 39 seconds to go in the first half. There's a timeout on the field with the score. Berwick 21 and Glen Mills 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
Ask Ameriprise financial advisor Jeffrey McKinnon about the exclusive Confident Retirement approach. It's a personalized, flexible, step-by-step approach toward financial balance. Call Jeff today at 570-520-4137. Offices are located at 22 South Prospect Street in Nanticoke, PA, and 118 East 3rd Street in Berwick, PA. The Confident Retirement approach is not a guarantee of future financial results. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, a registered investment advisor.
Riverview Block of Berwick, with over 75 years of service, can handle all your block and concrete needs. They carry all sizes of concrete block, including decorative E.P. Henry landscaping block. Their concrete is PennDOT approved and delivered with front discharge trucks. Riverview Block also carries masonry supplies, tools, cement, sand, and stone. For prompt delivery, call Riverview Block, 570-752-7191. Riverview Block is proud to support the Berwick Bulldogs.
HLM.
IndependenceFord.com is officially announcing the biggest pre-owned vehicle sale in Independence Ford's 35-year history. Huge discounts, great trade values, and the lowest interest rate in years. If you need a vehicle, now is the time. Need a deal on a new vehicle? How about 0% for 84 months on 2019 F-150s? And ask about their lifetime oil change program on all new car sales. Now is the time to shop IndependenceFord.com. Independence Ford, 3101 Columbia Boulevard. Better people, better prices.
Have you been working on those projects around the house you never thought you'd get to, and now you need to clean up the leftover mess? Well, J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling has your back. They are veteran-owned and operated, and they go above and beyond to get it done. They offer low-contact junk removal services to help with social distancing. Make an appointment today by calling 844-GET-JDOG or directly at 570-759-7715. You can find J-Dog on Facebook or check out their homepage, jdog.com.
Berwick Bulldog football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills and Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
6 minutes, 39 seconds remaining in the first half of play before a jam-packed crowd at Crispin Field in Berwick. Opening night of the 1992 high school football season. Berwick leading Glen Mills 21-7. And following the Glen Mills timeout, Berwick with the football at the Bulls' 43-yard line with a second down and 1.
They've been moving the ball well on the ground, but that quick strike potential to pass is always there.
Movement on the right side, but Berwick able to get back. Paulus, quarterback keeper, straight ahead, has the first down. Ron Paulus to the 40-yard line, picks up the first down. And Berwick, who has scored on every possession in the first half, moving once again, this time at the Glen Mills 40-yard line with a first down.
You know, they realize how effective the running game of Glen Mills is. To be able to maintain a running drive of their own should keep that offense off the field. But Paulus is red hot. They'll try to use him.
Mike Sobolewski and Jason Sobolewski in an open set. Mike gets the call, and he is annihilated. Johnny Stevenson, the linebacker, head on with Mike Sobolewski, a loss back to the 41-yard line.
Jimmy, if we're going to play a pickup game, I want him on my side. He is a missile. We'll be doing the university tomorrow, and Zeno Brown is the guy who comes to mind. We're talking about a big, hulking presence in the middle, and when he sticks, you know without looking out the number who it is.
2nd and 11, Berwick at the Glen Mills 41-yard line. Paulus from the shotgun takes the snap. He fires. He has Pecorelli incomplete. Dante Pecorelli just couldn't handle it at the 27-yard line. The ball well thrown, and boy, Paulus first down. Berwick will use the timeout here with 5:45 remaining in the first half of play. Berwick 21 and Glen Mills 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog football, HLM.
Eat local at Steph Subs.
Yeah!
Steph Subs is open and still serving up delicious subs, soups, and salads on East Main Street in downtown Bloomsburg. Hot subs, cold subs, sides, and more. Takeout, delivery, and even curbside service is available. Give Steph's a call, 784-5750, to place your order. Proudly serving you, your friends, and neighbors for over 35 years on the corner of Main and East Streets in Bloomsburg. For lunch, dinner, or anything in between, make it Steph Subs, 784-5750.
S.J. Kowalski Heating and Air Conditioning is proud to offer the Air Scrubber by Aris. It reduces exposure to common bacteria and viruses and their health effects. Air Scrubbers don't just treat the air, they also help to clean the surfaces of your home, such as countertops, bathrooms, kitchens, and doorknobs. The Air Scrubber is quick and easy, designed to fit into your existing HVAC system. Learn more by calling 1-888-KOWALSKI or on the web at sjkowalski.com.
HLM.
See the winning lineup of Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and also quality pre-owned vehicles at Bear Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Berwick. They have a body shop and a full service center servicing all makes and models, and they've been servicing your community for over 30 years. Bear Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram has earned the highest possible ratings from Chrysler and the prestigious J.D. Power Award for Excellence. Need a truck? Bear has a vast inventory, including 2020 Ram Motor Trend Truck of the Year, or choose one of the 50 new Jeeps in stock. Bear Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, Pine Street in Berwick.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick, are your roofing experts for Luzerne, Columbia, and Montour counties. With 26 years of experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your decks, siding, or roofing? Specializing in metal and rubber shingles, most roofing work is done in one day. So remember the name, Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas. Call Red's Roofing, 752-4351. Owner Harry Titus, a proud supporter of the Berwick football team.
Berwick Bulldog football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills of Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
5 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the first half of play here at Crispin Field in Berwick. The Bulldogs leading the Bulls of Glen Mills School by a score of 21-7. Following the Berwick timeout, the Bulldogs have a 3rd down and 11 at the Glen Mills 41. Chris Orlando wide to the left. I formation and now a shift. They shift into the shotgun formation. They end up with trips left and a slot right. Hollis takes the snap, back to throw, huge pass rush. Here's the middle screen to Pecorelli at the 40. And Pecorelli is dragged down to 37. There is a flag on the play in the pileup.
No one there but Pecorelli and 4 Glen Mills players, Jim, so you have to look for some type of a roughing play, and that would convert for the first down.
Well, that's a tough break for the Bulls because they played that defensively, Andy, about as well as you can. They got the great pass rush. Berwick appeared to have the right call, and yet Glen Mills was in position to make the play. But there is a personal foul against the Bulls, and this will be a big walk-off and a 1st and 10 for Berwick.
It would have forced a punt or a desperation 4th down call, but Berwick will get it the easy way. Again, a good call because of the intensity of the rush, but the backers stayed put, and when they saw the line, the wall forming, they got to the outside of it. Pecorelli got it to the side of the wall, and instead of being able to use his blockers, he was forced to the outside. They were able to sift through and make the play, but sometimes when 2 or 3 people are hitting at the same time, you get something up near the face mask, and that's going to cause that march off.
1st and 10, Berwick. They have the football at the Glen Mills 21-yard line. Double slot formation. Hollis from the shotgun takes the snap, back to throw, dumps it over the middle, and it's grabbed by Pecorelli. No, incomplete. A diving attempt by Dante Pecorelli at the 5-yard line. Richard James on the coverage. Good effort by Pecorelli. Couldn't pull it in. And Berwick will face a 2nd and 10 at the 21.
Really a tough catch. He made a beautiful attempt. He realized he'd have to catch it in traffic. It was threaded well. You know, Paul has bounced one off his hands just a few plays ago. Now he had to finesse the ball in there. Pecorelli had to catch it while slowing down and while falling, and almost was able to come up with a big reception.
Trips left, slot right. No running backs. Paulus from shotgun takes the snap, back to throw. Fires incomplete. It was intended for Bill Hetler. He got his feet tangled up with the linebacker, Stevenson. There is no call in the play. It'll be 3rd and 10. That's the reaction you get from the Berwick crowd in front of us.
Well, it's obvious. They know that play. Mike Daddio ran it last year. Send people deep and slide that tight end on a delay crossing. He caught his feet up with the linebacker, so there was a collision while the ball was in the air. But in the opinion of the officials, not enough to warrant a pass interference call.
3rd down and 10. Berwick at the Glen Mills 21-yard line with 5 minutes and 5 seconds to go here in the first half. Slot to the left side. Pecorelli to the right. Jason Sobolewski, the lone running back. Now Pecorelli in motion left, so there's trips that way, and Paulus back to throw. Big pass rush, dumps the screen off to the right side. Bill Heller with blockers in front to the 15. Heller to the 10. Heller to the 7-yard line. Great call. 1st and goal, Berwick.
Screen to the short side. You start with twins left and then in motion get the trip. Heller's in a tight end position. Fakes his block and it becomes a tight end screen. Linebackers often will look for that screen for the back sneaking out of the backfield. It's hard to see the guy who seems to be a blocker. Hetler really faked it well, and since they're on the short side, the wall isn't moving as noticeably. Beautiful call.
First and goal at the 7-yard line. Jason Sobolewski gets the call, tries the left side, and is hit hard as he gets a yard, maybe 2 on the play. Lazarius Calhoun, 6'2", 247-pound junior, makes the stop defensively for Glen Mills.
Second and goal. Hard running up there. Of course, Glen Mills is going to tighten up inside. This is where you try to use some power. But the pass plays have been open. They're able to spread out that 4-4 defense. I think their game plan, they used, the whole offseason to work against this, and they have some nice schemes.
Second and goal at the 6. Hollis fakes handoff, rolls right, keeps the football, dancing around, lowers the shoulder now, but is brought down after a short gain just to the 5-yard line. Richard James, the outside linebacker. Terrell Gillette, the left defensive end, combined on the stop for Glen Mills. And Berwick will have a 3rd down and goal at the Bulls' 5-yard line.
And most likely a passing situation this time. I think Glen Mills was anticipating pass in order to keep people back in coverage. That play is going to be effective against the blitz. They're allowing people to penetrate and then with a delay block, push the man the way he's going. They're able to set that up, but the people watching for pass stop the play.
3rd and goal. Pecorelli in motion to the left side. Paulus takes the hit off, and he's rolling that way. Fires over the middle to Orlando. Incomplete, but flags all over the place. As Kane Jackson came in behind Orlando, wrapped the arms before the pass got there. I mean, there were flags flying from every direction. That'll be an interference call against Glen Mills, and Berwick will have the 1st and goal half the distance.
You have to interfere. If you don't interfere, it's going to be a touchdown. They wanted to throw to Pecorelli in the left corner of the end zone while rolling left, and Paulus has the ability to do that, but Pecorelli couldn't break free. Then he had to stop his momentum with the left-sided roll, plant, and throw back to the middle of the field, feathering the ball in, finding Orlando, and then the safety had to just interfere, or that would have been a touchdown.
Sean Steinling, number 79, comes in there at a line position for Berwick as they have a 1st and goal at the Glen Mills 3-yard line. Berwick proud on this, the home side, exerting that offense. Jason Sobolewski, the lone running back from the 3. Paulus gives to Sobolewski off the left side. He does not get in there, but he is very, very close.
They're using it unbalanced on the left side as well. With the 4-4 scheme that Glen Mills likes to use, usually in a goal line, you'll just move your people up. If you sneak that unbalanced in there, sometimes there'll be a natural gap. A defense may not adjust properly. They're also offsetting the wing as an extra blocker, and with Sobolewski's power, they were hoping to be able to force that ahead. They're less than a yard away, Jim.
2nd and goal for Berwick. Again, Jason Sobolewski, the lone running back. Berwick, with some confusion, they'll call a timeout here. They're last of the half. 2:43 to go in the first half with a score. Berwick 21 and Glen Mills 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
Choose with confidence. The Medicine Shop.
At the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, located at the corner of 9th and Pine Streets in Berwick, caring goes beyond the prescriptions. Discover the one-on-one customer service and dedication that makes caring part of the culture at the Medicine Shop in Berwick. Stock up on everything you need to keep you and your family healthy all year long. The Medicine Shop Pharmacy, located on the corner of 9th and Pine Streets in Berwick, where caring goes beyond the prescriptions.
Chill out this summer with free and easy checking from First Columbia Bank and get a free gift. Enjoying the benefits of free and easy checking is effortless and gives you free access to 17 First Columbia ATMs and 55,000 free all-point and Sheets ATMs for when you hit the road. Plus, for a limited time, get a free Arctic Zone insulated tote when you open a new checking account or refer a friend. It's perfect for picnics, parties, and road trips and will keep your food hot or cold for hours. First Columbia Bank, with you every step of the way. Restrictions and data rates may apply.
HLM. IndependenceFord.com is officially announcing the biggest pre-owned vehicle sale in Independence Ford's 35-year history. Huge discounts, great trade values, and the lowest interest rate in years. If you need a vehicle, now is the time. Need a deal on a new vehicle? How about 0% for 84 months on 2019 F-150s? And ask about their lifetime oil change program on all new car sales. Now is the time to shop IndependenceFord.com. Independence Ford, 3101 Columbia Boulevard. Better people, better prices.
If you have a child that's interested in gymnastics, or if you've been practicing the sport for years, then Access Gymnastics Academy is where you want to be. Their dedicated coaches will teach you everything you need to know to perform your best, from the basics of flexibility, form, and style to advanced techniques that will improve your rhythm and style during a routine. Call Heidi Rebuck at Access Gymnastics Academy at 570-441-5969. That's 570-441-5969. Now enrolling for beginner to advanced classes at 917 East 7th Street in Bloomsburg.
Berwick Bulldog football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills of Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WPWX Berwick, HLM.
Jim Doyle, Andy Lickney, our spotter Brian Bauer from Crispin Field in Berwick. 2:43 to go in the first half of play. Berwick already leading Glen Mills by a score of 21-7. And the Bulldogs with the ball at the Bulls' 1-yard line with a second down and goal. Berwick was forced to use their last time out of the half as the player came out, and it left them with only 10 players on the field. Now they're set as George Curry comes trotting off, and Berwick, second and goal at the 1. Hollis gives to Jason Sobolewski, tries that left side, and he gets in for the touchdown. Jason Sobolewski just pulls his way in for the score.
They announced where the power was. It wasn't unbalanced, but they stacked two backs right behind. Bill Hetler was behind the tackle. I think they had a lineman, Sean Steimling, behind the guard, and they just ran Sobolewski over that mass of humanity. He had his legs moving, and he forced his way into the end zone.
So Berwick still perfect in the first half. 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns. And Ron Paulus will attempt the extra point out of the hold of Dante Pecorelli. Snap is there, the placement, the kick is up, and the kick is no good. No good, off to the left. Time out of the field with the score. Berwick 27 and Glen Mills 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog football, HLM.
Yannick Real Estate is your full-service real estate agency. Buying, selling, residential, commercial, multifamily, land, and rental management. Call Yannick Real Estate. Owner Mike Yannick, a veteran himself, served his country and has been serving this area for decades. Mike and his staff will guide you through the real estate process. Veterans, be sure to check the VA loan options. Yannick Real Estate, your full-service real estate agency. 1232 West Front Street in Berwick. Call 759-3300.
Northeast Pennsylvania, it's your home. And no matter what stage of life you find yourself in, what you rely on most is security. When that house becomes a home, the moment you get that new car, when your dreams become a reality, it's times like this when you have to look to the experts for advice and financial peace of mind. They're there with innovative products and services to help you with your financial future every step of the way. Together, they will help dreams and goals become reality. They are more than a bank. They're your neighbor. They are First Keystone Community Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
HLM.
We're Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg, home of the Blaze Alexander lowest price guaranteed. Whether it's a new GMC Sierra 4x4, Acadia, or Terrain, or any of the full lineup of Buick SUVs, you'll get the lowest price guaranteed. We've got a huge selection of quality pre-owned vehicles too. Local one-owner cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Why shop anywhere else when you'll get the best selection, the best financing, and the most for your trade at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg? We're taking deals the other guys won't.
There's an innovative way to heat your home in winter and cool it in the summer. It's the Climate Master geothermal system that taps the constant temperature of the earth to provide heating, cooling, and hot water while keeping your home comfortable all year long. And it's available from Robert G. Dent Heating and Air Conditioning in Light Street. Climate Master geothermal systems are so efficient, the investment quickly pays for itself. Call your local Climate Master dealer, Robert G. Dent, at 570-784-6721. That's 570-784-6721.
Berwick Bulldog football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills of Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
A year ago, these teams battled to a 26-25 decision won by Glen Mills. Berwick has already topped their point total from that game in this first half of the 1992 opener. The Bulldogs leading 27-7 following a 12-play, 67-yard scoring drive, capped on a 1-yard touchdown run by Jason Sobolewski. The Bulldogs with that big lead, 2:38 still to go in the half. Sobolewski's kick off a line drive kick, picked up by Derek Anderson at the 20, and Anderson tries to spin away but can't do it. He's brought down to 27. B.J. Hayes, a talented sophomore for Berwick, makes the play. And Glen Mills, who scored on a 91-yard drive in their last possession, will take over with 2:31 to go in the half, trailing 27-7.
They opened the game with a 12-play drive, which stalled out because of their own penalties. They haven't completed a pass, so you can see what, their type of scheme is. Power football, exploit the speed of those running backs once you create the seams, hope to take it in on the ground.
From their own 28-yard line, Jamon Jones takes the snap. He's back to throw. He's looking long downfield for Pugh, and Orlando comes back and picks it off. 1st and 10, Berwick at the 31. The ball a little bit overthrown. Orlando came back and made a diving interception, and Berwick takes over the football.
He really aired it out. With 2 minutes to go, they tried for the quick strike, to make it reasonable at halftime. Orlando has tremendous speed, as do the Glen Mills players, and they're playing back. They're going to play it soft, allow a short underneath pass. So he just stayed deeper than the receiver, and he had his eye on the ball the whole time in the zone, so he was able to come up and make that play.
1st and 10, Berwick. Now they're out of timeouts, and they have the ball at their own 31-yard line. There is 2:03 to go in the half. Of course, when you got a Ron Paulus, all things are possible. And Paulus will operate out of the shotgun. 1st and 10, Bulldogs at their 31. Slot to the right, slot to the left. Paulus takes the snap. Pass downfield. Pecorelli with a tremendous grab. 1st and 10 at the 46. Dante Pecorelli extended himself, diving into the air, makes the grab, and Berwick quickly to the line of scrimmage with a 1st and 10.
The ball will be stopped while they move the chains. Berwick is set now. The chains aren't, so they'll get this off without losing time.
23 on the pass to Pecorelli. 1st and 10 at the 46. Paulus again from the shotgun. Back to throw. Waits to the last moment. Throws incomplete. And Paulus was really level that time as the blitz got to him. But Ron Paulus hung in there. Tell you what, when you have a rifle arm like that, Andy, it does give you the confidence to just stay with it. Boy, he stayed with it a long time and paid the price. It goes incomplete. 2nd and 10. Berwick, as mentioned, out of timeouts. 1:38 to go in the half. They scramble again to the line of scrimmage to Glen Mills 46. Paulus from the shotgun takes the snap, back to throw, fires a quick out, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Jason Sobolewski. He was wide open, but let the ball slip through his hands at the 39-yard line, close to the sideline, too. Could have gotten out of bounds to stop the clock, but as it is, 3rd and 10, Berwick.
It's their 2-minute pattern, Jim, same as the one Pecorelli caught. He was just going for a different read that time.
Here's a 3rd down and 10, 1:35 remaining in the half. Paulus takes the snap, back to throw, fires a quick out to Hetler, and he is nailed by Richard James. James, the linebacker, with a big hit, just a 1-yard gain. It's 4th and 9, Berwick, at the Glen Mills 45. George Curry looking up at that clock, sees it running with 1:18, and Berwick just may decide to slow the pace down a little bit here, now that they face this situation of 4th and 9.
I think Glen Mills probably should have taken the timeout, and then they may have reconsidered and forced them to punt. Berwick here will probably go with an offensive play after taking the penalty, and then they probably have to kill 1 or 2 plays.
Yeah, Berwick appears to be just content to take that 5-yard penalty. That's exactly what they will do. The mark-off will be back to midfield, and on 4th down, we may finally have a punt in this ballgame.
Will be the first. Paulus does the punting, and sometimes they shift to it, but he does an automatic read regardless. They'll probably line up immediately in the punt. But I'm sure he's thinking if there's any danger of this being blocked, just to eat it and then force the offense to score. They don't want a turnover type of touchdown in this situation.
Ron Paulus back to punt, 52 seconds remaining. Glen Mills jumping across, Charles Hicks.
And they weren't shifting or anything, Jim. He just wanted to come. A little surprised with the Glen Mills strategy, though. They're sitting back. They had a 4-man rush. They had 5 linebackers off the ball just kind of watching. And they might have been setting up a return. I think they need to try to go after this one, try to get to Paulus and block that, to get back into this game. But they're kind of laid back in this situation.
B.J. Hayes, a sophomore, is at the tailback spot for Berwick now. On 4th down and 9 from the 45-yard line, Berwick shifts. Glen Mills jumps the cross. We've never seen that before, have we? And Berwick now will have a 4th down and a reasonable distance to go.
By getting to 10 yards and penalties and being on the 40-yard line, now field position might say, hey, why not try an offensive play? If we make it, we run out the half. If we don't, they need 60 yards in 52 seconds. They haven't completed a pass. You'd have to stop a run or two, and the type of run that would score could go 100 yards as well as 60. So I think you're going to see an offensive snap here. Paulus is going to go under the center.
They just may shift again.
Yeah, they might.
From the 40-yard line, Nick Fideco's in there. He's not a normal offensive lineman. There's the shift. Glen Mills holds their ground, and now it appears Paulus will punt. Takes the snap and does, in fact, get the kick away. Very, very high punt. Bounces about the 10, and Berwick will down it just about there with 42 seconds remaining in the first half. So we've had our first punt in an offense-filled first half, and Glen Mills will have it. They have 1 timeout remaining, and they have the football down around their own 11-yard line.
They've proven they can drive the ball, and last time they had it, they tried for the big play touchdown, but Berwick's going to lay back. We're going to see people rather deep in the secondary. Let them catch the ball underneath if they want. And even Glen Mills has to worry about risking an interception and allowing Berwick one quick score here. They have to be somewhat conservative themselves.
J.J. Cleaver, an extra defensive back in the Berwick secondary, has Glen Mills from their own 11. Clock begins to run, 38 seconds to go in the half. The Bulls with 1 timeout remaining. And Jones is back to throw at his own 3-yard line, fires a quick out, has his man across the way. It's a completion and a first down over the 25, out to the 28-yard line. It's that big tight end, number 88, Johnny Jones. They have a first down at the 28 as they pick up 17 on the reception, and they will use that final timeout with 26 seconds to go in the half. 27-7 Berwick, timeout on the field. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
You haven't had the best until you've been to Romeo's Italian Submarines. Romeo's Italian Submarines. You've got to try them. Romeo's menu includes their popular wings, wraps, ice cream, and so much more. Romeo's Italian Submarines. Open till 9 Sunday through Thursday, until 10 Friday and Saturday. Visit Romeo's Italian Submarines at 1306 Orange Street in Berwick, or visit their Facebook page to check out their delicious menu and their specials. They also offer delivery to the local Berwick area. Romeo's is a proud supporter of the Berwick Bulldogs football team. Go Dogs!
Quality care for your dental health at Berwick Dental Arts, 105 West 9th Street in Berwick. State-of-the-art equipment comes together with a tradition of 45 years of personalized care. From the youngest to the oldest patient, let Berwick Dental Arts doctors and staff take care of every aspect of your dental needs. They'll process all types of insurances. Make your appointment today. Call Berwick Dental Arts friendly staff at 752-4542. Berwick Dental Arts, making smiles beautiful.
HLM.
IndependenceFord.com is officially announcing the biggest pre-owned vehicle sale in Independence Ford's 35-year history. Huge discounts, great trade values, and the lowest interest rate in years. If you need a vehicle, now is the time. Need a deal on a new vehicle? How about 0% for 84 months on 2019 F-150s? And ask about their lifetime oil change program on all new car sales. Now is the time to shop IndependenceFord.com. Independence Ford, 3101 Columbia Boulevard. Better people, better prices.
You've been sitting at home glaring at those piles of junk, wondering what you're going to do with it all. At J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling, they'll help you donate the good, get rid of the bad, and hide the ugly. Make your appointment today to make it all go away by calling J-Dog at 844-438-5364. Check out their reviews on Facebook and Google or stop by their homepage at jdog.com. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is proudly veteran-owned and operated.
Berwick Bulldog football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills of Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
26 seconds is all that remains of the first half of play. Berwick with an impressive showing, scoring on every possession except one, and leading Glen Mills 27-7. The Bulls of Glen Mills School have just used their final timeout. They have the football at their own 28-yard line, where they have a 1st and 10, following their first pass completion of the evening. Backs in an open set, slot to the left side. Quarterback, Jones, sets him down, takes the snap. He's back to throw. Rolling right, fires long downfield for Jones, and going up and making the interception is Chris Orlando. Orlando to midfield. Orlando reverses his field and then is buried at midfield with 13 seconds to go in the half. So they played catch with the big guy, Johnny Jones, 6'6" tight end, and Chris Orlando is up to the task, his second interception of this first half, and Berwick has the football.
He has a better read than the 6-foot guy, Jim, because the ball's thrown far, but it's still not reaching that depth downfield. Orlando is floating back into zone like the center field. He sees where the ball's thrown. The receiver doesn't. He's able to plant and step and break up. Receiver's momentum's going the other way, and he had an exciting return after that, too.
Berwick coaching staff signaling for their team to just let the clock run out, but the officials don't let that happen. Actually, there's an equipment problem on the part of one of Glen Mills players across the way, so the clock will stop with 6 seconds to go. Reminder, late in our halftime procedures, we'll be going back to Bruce Van Allen for an update on all the high school football being played here tonight. Opening night of the 1992 season, the first half is history, and Berwick leading Glen Mills. Berwick 27, Glen Mills 7. We'll be back with the first half scoring and statistics in 2 minutes.
Berwick Bulldog football, HLM.
S.J. Kowalski Heating and Air Conditioning sells comfort. Since 1972, S.J. Kowalski understands the importance of doing business locally. They service what they sell and take pride in customer satisfaction. S.J. Kowalski is a trained comfort specialist, a Lennox dealer, and they are Northeastern Pennsylvania's premier dealer of Mitsubishi ductless mini-split systems. S.J. Kowalski also sells and installs energy-efficient Renai water heaters and geothermal systems. Call 1-888-KOWALSKI and ask about special promotions and zero-interest financing.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick, are your roofing experts for Luzerne, Columbia, and Montour counties. With 26 years of experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your decks, siding, or roofing, specializing in metal and rubber shingles. Most roofing work is done in one day, so remember the name, Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas. Call Red's Roofing, 752-4351. Owner Harry Titus, a proud supporter of the Berwick football team.
HLM. We're Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg, home of the Blaze Alexander lowest price guaranteed. Whether it's a new GMC Sierra 4x4, Acadia, or Terrain, or any of the full lineup of Buick SUVs, you'll get the lowest price guaranteed. We've got a huge selection of quality pre-owned vehicles too. Local one-owner cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Why shop anywhere else when you'll get the best selection, the best financing, and the most for your trade at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. We're taking deals the other guys won't.
Choose with confidence. The Medicine Shop
At the Medicine Shop Pharmacy located at the corner of 9th and Pine Streets in Berwick, caring goes beyond the prescriptions. Discover the one-on-one customer service and dedication that makes caring part of the culture at the Medicine Shop in Berwick. Stock up on everything you need to keep you and your family healthy all year long. The Medicine Shop Pharmacy, located on the corner of 9th and Pine Streets in Berwick, where caring goes beyond the prescriptions.
Berwick Bulldog Football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills at Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
Halftime entertainment featuring the Berwick High School Marching Band about to begin here at Crispin Field in Berwick. The huge crowd on hand has witnessed a tremendous performance by Berwick through one half as the Bulldogs lead Glen Mills School 27-7. Berwick started right from the top, taking the opening kickoff, returning to the 40-yard line. Ron Powlis coming on and directing a 6-play, 60-yard scoring drive. Only one pass on the drive, but that was the touchdown. 6 yards from Powlis to Dante Pecorelli. Big plays on the drive, 2 runs by Jason Sobolewski. One of 19, one of 13 yards, and a 15-yard run by Ron Powlis. The pass attempt for the extra point failed after a bad snap, but Berwick had a very early 6-0 lead. Glen Mills took the ensuing kickoff and put together an impressive drive of their own. Starting at their own 26-yard line, they drove to the 22-yard line of Berwick. But a couple of penalties later, they had given up the football. Berwick took over at the 29-yard line for their second possession. This time, they took only 4 plays to go 71 yards. The touchdown coming on a 23-yard pass from Ron Powlis to Chris Orlando. Big plays on the drive, a 33-yard completion to Dan Pecorelli, and a 15-yard run by Ron Powlis. Powlis kicked the extra point. With just 22 seconds to go in the first quarter, Berwick had a lead of 13-0. On the ensuing kickoff, Chris Dickerson fumbled the football. Bo Payne with the recovery for Berwick. And on the very next play, from the Glen Mills 28-yard line, Ron Powlis hit Ryan Mason wide open over the middle, 28 yards for the touchdown. Powlis ran for the extra point, and after 1 quarter of play, Berwick leading Glen Mills 21-0. The Bulls finally got on the board in the second quarter as they put together a very impressive drive of their own. 8 plays, 91 yards. The score coming on a 17-yard run by Keno Shawwell, a 5'11", 190-pound senior. There are also a couple of big plays on that drive by their talented tailback, Chris Dickerson, the 6'1", 222-pound senior who's being heavily recruited by some of the big boys in college football. Dickerson with runs of 17 and 31 yards on that drive. Lamont Nickens boomed the extra point, and Berwick's lead had been cut to 21-7 with 8:07 to go in the first half. But the Bulldogs on their next possession scored again. 12 plays, 67 yards. The score coming on a 1-yard touchdown run by Jason Sobolewski. The big play, and it was a thing of beauty. Berwick and Glen Mills territory needing a big third down conversion. They sent Pecorelli in motion left. They already had a slot that way, so everything was going left. Powlis rolled left and then set up a screen to the right side to Bill Hattler, who got 14 yards and a big first down. And as I mentioned, Sobolewski later finished off the drive. Powlis' extra point sailed wide left, but Berwick had the lead. A lead they hold here at halftime. It is Berwick 27 and Glen Mills 7. Statistics. First half of play, Andy Lichtman.
Start with the scoreboard, Jim. You just mentioned it, 27-7. Berwick had a lead at Glen Mills last year. This one has a little bit more padding, but I don't think anyone's going to leave this one yet. The tools that Glen Mill has, they can get right back into this because of that blazing speed, and I'm sure Coach Curry is telling his people that in the half house right now. Let's look at the Glen Mills offense. Their running game, 20 runs on the half for 137 yards. You mentioned that tandem in the backfield, both at 1,000-yard seasons last year. Chris Dickerson may have crossed over that 3,000-yard threshold. He has 12 carries in the half for 87 yards. Some nice long bursts, shows fine speed. Berwick's having trouble stopping the running game. It seems, though, that if they have to put too many plays together in succession, they'll drop a snap or make a mistake. They've hurt themselves with penalties. Well, it comes just to the pure running game itself on any given play. It seems there's a bit of a dominance on the part of Glen Mills. Keno Shawwell has been playing mostly at fullback, but now and then they'll flip him to tail. He has 6 carries for 42 yards, and he has the running touchdown for the Glen Mills Bulls. Damon Jones, the quarterback, has 2 carries. One a designed option for 7 yards. The other a dropped snap, which he has to force ahead. So he has 2 carries for 8 yards. Total on the ground for Glen Mills, 20 carries for 137. In the air, 1 complete in 5 attempts. 2 interceptions thrown, and only 14 yards in the air. That coming in the last minutes of the half, where Berwick was back in a prevent. Leading receiver, well, would be Chris Orlando with his 2 interceptions, but he's on Berwick's team. Johnny Jones, a 6'6" tight end. He has a 14-yard catch as the sole reception for the Glen Mills Bulls. Just not part of their offense tonight. They're passing in predictable situations, and in those situations, the Berwick secondary is just reacting very, very well. 14 yards in the air, 137 on the ground, gives Glen Mills a respectable first half total of 151 yards offense. They have not had to punt. They've ended some drives with turnovers. They've had 8 first downs. They've been able to string some nice drives together, but not enough points out of that offense. With the turnovers, a fumbled kick return, and the 2 interceptions by Chris Orlando, and they've been momentum stoppers and drive stoppers. Also, the penalties have hurt them. 8 penalties for 60 yards, many of them very obvious. Pass interference penalty that had to be made, some delay of game penalties, which often occur through miscommunication here in openers, and that's really slowed them down quite a bit. Another big roughing call that extended a Berwick drive, resulting in a score on what would have been a 4th down stop. Going over to Berwick, Jim, 30 plays on the half, 16 rushes, 13 passes. That's the type of balance George Curry would like. Although if he can get the running game going and keep it going, I think you'll see him keep it on the ground and run the clock out and work that aspect. But, of course, the big play is in the arm of Paulus anytime he wants it. 16 rushes for 103 yards, 8 pass completions for 134, so even the yardage balance is somewhat. Jason Soboleski is being featured. They are going to him in the backfield, and he is responding. 8 carries for 58 yards and a touchdown. They opened with him with successive plays, both going for long yardage of over 15. Came back to start another drive with him, and he's really not just bowling his way ahead, but he's using a bit of finesse and showing some speed, which we really didn't see last year. Looking very strong on offense as well as defense. Mike Soboleski, they've tried a few counters with him, and I'm glad I wasn't him. He's met Johnny Stevenson the hard way. He has 2 carries for no yards and probably some black and blue marks for him. Ron Paulus is part of the running game, 6 carries for him for 45 yards. After Soboleski sets up the ground attack, they counter with Soboleski, bounce Paulus outside, and the aggressive blitzing by Glen Mills is creating natural seams, and they're taking advantage of that. In the air, Paulus is really sharp, 8 for 13, no interceptions, 134. His first 4 were completes, and 3 of those were touchdowns. Some balls dropped and some pressure on him as well, but he's looked very sharp. He's living up to his billing as perhaps the best high school player in the country tonight. Chris Orlando has a 23-yard touchdown reception. Ryan Mason, a 28-yard touchdown reception. Bill Hetler, a big 14-yard screen pass to convert for a first down, as well as a 1-yard gain. And the star, Dante Pecorelli, 4 catches for 68 yards, including a touchdown of his own. So 134 in the air, 103 on the ground. Total offense for the half, 237. I have Berwick with 12 first downs. 1 punt, the only punt of the game so far. That a 30-yard pooch kick. No turnovers. And I have them with only 1 penalty for 5 yards. So Berwick is doing what they want to do. The game plan's working to perfection. And I just think they have to be wondering over at the Glen Mills sideline what to do. But I'm sure they're going to be pumped up for a second half of football.
They trail 27-7. Berwick scoring on every possession except 1 in that first half. The Bulldogs looking very, very impressive in this opener. 27-7 is the score here. We'll be back to Crispin Field in 60 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
Chill out this summer with free and easy checking from First Columbia Bank and get a free gift. Enjoying the benefits of free and easy checking is effortless and gives you free access to 17 First Columbia ATMs and 55,000 free all-point and Sheets ATMs for when you hit the road. Plus, for a limited time, get a free Arctic Zone insulated tote when you open a new checking account or refer a friend. It's perfect for picnics, parties, and road trips and will keep your food hot or cold for hours. First Columbia Bank, with you every step of the way. Restrictions and data rates may apply.
Are you ready for some football, fall foliage, trick-or-treats, hunting, turkey? And did I say football? Are you ready for Gordner Coombs Insurance? We listen, we advise, we care. We remind you to get ready for the cold weather to come. Donate to our local United Way and our Feed a Friend barrel when November rolls around. At Gordner Coombs Insurance, we proudly represent Erie Insurance. No cookie-cutter coverage here. We recommend the coverage that will work for you. We are Gordner Coombs Insurance. Rest insured with us. We're available via phone, on the web, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Main Street in Millville. Are you ready?
HLM. IndependenceFord.com is officially announcing the biggest pre-owned vehicle sale in Independence Ford's 35-year history. Huge discounts, great trade values, and the lowest interest rate in years. If you need a vehicle, now is the time. Need a deal on a new vehicle? How about 0% for 84 months on 2019 F-150s? And ask about their lifetime oil change program on all new car sales. Now is the time to shop IndependenceFord.com. Independence Ford, 3101 Columbia Boulevard. Better people, better prices.
There's an innovative way to heat your home in winter and cool it in the summer. It's the Climate Master geothermal system that taps the constant temperature of the earth to provide heating, cooling, and hot water while keeping your home comfortable all year long. And it's available from Robert G. Dent Heating and Air Conditioning in Light Street. Climate Master geothermal systems are so efficient, the investment quickly pays for itself. Call your local Climate Master dealer, Robert G. Dent, at 570-784-6721. That's 570-784-6721.
Berwick Bulldog Football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills at Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
December 3rd, 1983, Crispin Field. Fullback Andy Mills helps lead the Dogs to a 41-0 romp over North Pocono in the Eastern Conference Championship game, capping an unbeaten season.
Orlando gives straight ahead to Mills. Frankie tackles to the 20, to the 15. Mills still on his feet. Will go in for a Berwick touchdown. Andy Mills goes in. 24 yards. Berwick's on the board. They lead at 6-0. We have just a couple of minutes before the start of the second half. Both teams have made their appearance out on the field. This, of course, the opening night of the 1992 high school football season. Just moments away from the kickoff to start the second half. We'll be back with that second half kickoff in 60 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
You haven't had the best until you've been to Romeo's Italian Submarines. Romeo's Italian Submarines. You've got to try them. Romeo's menu includes their popular wings, wraps, ice cream, and so much more. Romeo's Italian Submarines. Open till 9 Sunday through Thursday, until 10 Friday and Saturday. Visit Romeo's Italian Submarines at 1306 Orange Street in Berwick, or visit their Facebook page to check out their delicious menu and their specials. They also offer delivery to the local Berwick area. Romeo's is a proud supporter of the Berwick Bulldogs football team. Go Dogs!
Quality care for your dental health at Berwick Dental Arts, 105 West 9th Street in Berwick. State-of-the-art equipment comes together with a tradition of 45 years of personalized care. From the youngest to the oldest patient, let Berwick Dental Arts doctors and staff take care of every aspect of your dental needs. They'll process all types of insurances. Make your appointment today. Call Berwick Dental Arts friendly staff at 752-4542. Berwick Dental Arts, making smiles beautiful.
See the winning lineup of Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and also quality pre-owned vehicles at Bear Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Berwick. They have a body shop and a full service center servicing all makes and models, and they've been servicing your community for over 30 years. Bear Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram has earned the highest possible ratings from Chrysler and the prestigious J.D. Power Award for Excellence. Need a truck? Bear has a vast inventory, including 2020 Ram Motor Trend Truck of the Year, or choose one of the 50 new Jeeps in stock. Bear Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, Pine Street in Berwick.
Neighbor Fence Company has fencing for where you want it, serving Columbia, Montour, and Luzerne counties. Neighbor Fence provides top-quality residential and commercial fencing, vinyl, chain link, wood, aluminum, and ornamental fencing, plus vinyl railing and specialty products. Neighbor Fence Company, 1140 State Route 239 in Wapwallopen. Call 570-752-4423 or visit them online at neighborfencecompany.com. Neighbor Fence Company is a proud sponsor of local youth athletic teams.
Berwick Bulldog Football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills of Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
Sometimes you can read which way it's going. You can see the guard in his stance if he's planning to pull and get a real anticipated jump on that as well.
Johnny Jones at 6'6", tight end to the right side, backs at an open set. Damon Jones backs to throw, big pass rush. He'll carry the football. He'll scramble. He'll get to the 25 and to the 26, close to the first down yardage. Good effort by Damon Jones, number 5, the senior quarterback for Glen Mills. He appeared to be stopped, got close to the first down yardage. They're going to measure. I think he's going to be just a little bit short.
And how about a decision here, Jim? The field position says you have to punt, but you're 3 touchdowns down. You want to establish some momentum. I mean, can you take that bigger risk? I think they're going to be about a foot shy. You know, do they have the discipline to try to bark Berwick offside? They feel they have the power to go with it. They haven't punted all game. It's never been a strong part of their team, their specialties.
Andy,
oh, boy.
Joe Ferranola has won a lot of games without my advice, but
you'd punt.
I think he's got to go. I think he's got to go.
You really think?
They haven't really stopped Berwick yet. You know,
yeah.
Actually, time ran out on that last Berwick possession, and I just think they have to go. 27-7. They can't afford Berwick get the ball and move it down, but Joe's not going to listen to me.
No, they could.
Or is he?
They could fake it, Jim, but I think their better chance of converting would be to use power with the straight-ahead offense. They have a man back there to punt. They're going to play this a bit conservatively.
It is the quarterback, Damon Jones, who is back to punt. He's standing back at his 13-yard line. Glen Mills, 4th and 1.
And they're telling timeout to rethink it, Jim. They must have that FM on over there.
I'm sure that's the case. 9:51 to go, third quarter. 27-7 is the Berwick lead. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
In these changing times, Wagner's Trophies and Engravables in downtown Bloomsburg is looking forward to your return as they reopen. While closed, Wagner's has made changes to their inventory by adding new Bloomsburg University items, wedding items, and pet supplies like tags and personalized bandanas. Check out Wagner Trophies' upgraded Facebook page for weekly updates. And don't forget to stop by the store at 146 East Main Street in downtown Bloomsburg. Wagner's Trophies and Engravables, a proud part of the community for over 35 years.
Berwick Notary Center, 1544 Orange Street, State Route 93, has been serving the Berwick community for over 50 years with the highest quality service as well as the lowest prices available. They offer services for driver's licenses, instant camera cards, registration renewals, boat, ATV, and snowmobile transfers. And they are messenger and agent approved. Open Monday through Friday, 9 till 5, and Saturday, 9 till 1. Check out their Facebook page or email them directly at berwicknotary@yahoo.com. Berwick Notary proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs. Go Dogs!
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick, or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
IndependenceFord.com is officially announcing the biggest pre-owned vehicle sale in Independence Ford's 35-year history. Huge discounts, great trade values, and the lowest interest rate in years. If you need a vehicle, now is the time. Need a deal on a new vehicle? How about 0% for 84 months on 2019 F-150s? And ask about their lifetime oil change program on all new car sales. Now is the time to shop IndependenceFord.com. Independence Ford, 3101 Columbia Boulevard. Better people, better prices.
Riverview Block of Berwick, with over 75 years of service, can handle all your block and concrete needs. They carry all sizes of concrete block, including decorative E.P. Henry landscaping block. Their concrete is PennDOT approved and delivered with front discharge trucks. Riverview Block also carries masonry supplies, tools, cement, sand, and stone. For prompt delivery, call Riverview Block, 570-752-7191. Riverview Block is proud to support the Berwick Bulldogs.
Berwick Bulldog football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills of Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
Glen Mills has used a timeout. Normally, you don't call a timeout to talk about a punt. They have a 4th and 1 at their own 25-yard line. Opening moments, third quarter. They trail 27-7. Chris Dickerson is back to punt now. They had Damon Jones back there. The snap is to Dickerson, and he does, in fact, punt. It is not a very effective one. It bounces at the 46-yard line of Glen Mills, and Berwick will take over in great field position, as that punt is about 22 yards altogether. So they mark it at the 47, and Berwick already leading 27-7. Gets their first crack of the football at the Glen Mills 47-yard line here in the second half.
They might be rethinking that one, Jim, on the ride back in the bus tonight. I think it was an opportunity. As you mentioned, it's a risk. It's certainly a risk. But if your punting game's not that strong, why not take that risk there?
Berwick with the football at the Bulls, 47-yard line. Paulus fakes handoff, keeps the football, turns the corner, 45, 40, barrels over tacklers, gets to the 37-yard line. Say, Ron Paulus, when he lowers that shoulder, he is something. Paulus comes up limping a bit. I think it's one of those leg cramps that you sometimes see on a very, very warm evening like that. He's trying to stretch it out. Now he's on his feet, walking it off as the ball is at the 37-yard line. He gained, well, it's closer to 38, so he gained 9. Second down and 1 for Berwick.
It's probably the best play in their package tonight. The blitz over commits, and they make a natural seam for him.
From the 38, Paulus gives the ball to Sobolewski. Big hole up the middle. He carries tacklers down to the 27-yard line. First and 10, Berwick.
Of course, straight up the gut's a great play, too. You're able to split the down lineman and rush your lineman out on those linebackers. Sobolewski is running with authority. He's able just to split the middle very quickly and get about a 10-yard gain. He's been doing it consistently through the night. 9 carries for 69 yards, over 10 yards a carry.
Jason Sobolewski comes off limping. He may have one of those cramps as well. Jordan Kessler is in the Berwick backfield. He and Mike Sobolewski are the backs in an open set, as Berwick has a 1st and 10 at the Glen Mills 27-yard line. Paulus on a long count, takes the snap, gives the ball to Mike Sobolewski, and he is buried. Mike Sobolewski hit hard by James Flowers, the right inside linebacker, a 5'9", 194-pound senior. And there will be a loss on the play back to the 29-yard line. It's second down and 12 for Berwick.
When the inside linebackers are making the plays in the backfield, you know that they're blitzing a lot. It's designated blitz right on the snap. There's ways that a passing game can take effect against that type of a scheme. Watch for Paulus. He's in the shotgun this time.
Bill Hetler is the lone running back as Paulus takes the snap, back to throw, fires over the middle. Hetler has it at the 25 and is wrapped up at the 23-yard line. Johnny Stevenson made the play. He is an impressive defensive player for the Bulls. He wrapped up Hetler as the gain on the play is to about the 23-yard line of 6. Third down and 6 for Berwick at the Glen Mills 23-yard line.
Again, they're bringing linebackers. He caught that in front of Stevenson, but Stevenson, limited it to very little gain.
Double slot formation, one running back. Paulson, 3rd and 6, fires a quick out, has Orlando, but he drops the football. And Chris Orlando, you could see him, Andy, turning and looking to make a move before he really had possession of the football, and now Berwick faces 4th and 6.
Well, I think he knew, Jim, he wanted to get the first down. If he catches it and he's hit immediately, he's not gaining anything. So he has to catch it and step, otherwise it may as well be incomplete. Very difficult to that much.
Here's a 4th down and 6 for Berwick at the Glen Mills 23-yard line. Double slot formation. Paulus from the shotgun takes the snap. Steps up into it. Fires to Pecorelli. Pecorelli at the 15. Pecorelli down to the 12-yard line. 1st and 10 Berwick. Richard James makes the play, but Dante Pecorelli, Andy, having a big opening game.
That's his first catch of the half. He had 4 before that for 68 yards. That one close to 10 yards. Little delay route and then slanting behind the linebackers. Again, Glen Mills likes to blitz those linebackers. There'll be an opening. He's there quick enough before the pressure's on Paulus. Paulus stands tough in the pocket, delivers on target, and then some cash after the run.
The ball at the 12-yard line, 1st and 10. The pitch is to Mike Sobolewski. Started out left, cuts it into the middle, gets it down to the 4-yard line. Terrell Gillette hit it from behind, but a nice move by Mike Sobolewski. The play designed as a pitch wide left. He started that way. Saw it was clogged up, cut it quickly to the middle. Got to the 5-yard line, picked up 7, 2nd down and 3. Brian Mason comes off limping.
Helping out downfield on the block. It seems he twisted an ankle or maybe one of those leg cramps. Jim Berwick's lining up, though.
Bill Hetler and Mike Sobolewski are the backs in an open set. And Berwick will burn a timeout here. 6:02 to go in the 3rd quarter. Berwick 27, Glen Mills 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
Welsh's Towing and Repair proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs and wishes them a successful year. Welsh's Towing and Repair has a long tradition of helping. You can call Welsh's 24/7 at 759-9737 if you are in need of a tow, jumpstart, tire change, are locked out, or to request them on scene if you're in an accident. Welsh's accepts all major insurance and motor clubs, and they offer all types of preventive maintenance and state inspections for cars, trucks, and motorcycles. Welsh's Towing and Repair, South Mercer Street in Berwick, and at their South Center Storage Facility, Columbia Boulevard in Berwick.
If you have a child that's interested in gymnastics, or if you've been practicing the sport for years, then Access Gymnastics Academy is where you want to be. Their dedicated coaches will teach you everything you need to know to perform your best, from the basics of flexibility, form, and style to advanced techniques that will improve your rhythm and style during a routine. Call Heidi Rebuck at Access Gymnastics Academy at 570-441-5969. That's 570-441-5969. Now enrolling for beginner to advanced classes at 917 East 7th Street in Bloomsburg.
HLM.
Northeast Pennsylvania, it's your home. And no matter what stage of life you find yourself in, what you rely on most is security. When that house becomes a home, the moment you get that new car, when your dreams become a reality, it's times like this when you have to look to the experts for advice and financial peace of mind. They're there with innovative products and services to help you with your financial future every step of the way. Together, they will help dreams and goals become reality. They are more than a bank. They're your neighbor. They are First Keystone Community Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Yannick Real Estate is your full-service real estate agency. Buying, selling, residential, commercial, multifamily, land, and rental management. Call Yannick Real Estate. Owner Mike Yannick, a veteran himself, served his country and has been serving this area for decades. Mike and his staff will guide you through the real estate process. Veterans, be sure to check the VA loan options. Yannick Real Estate, your full-service real estate agency. 1232 West Front Street in Berwick. Call 759-3300.
Berwick Bulldog Football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills of Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
Jim Doyle, Andy Yannick, our spotter Brian Bauer from Crispin Field in Berwick. Exactly 6 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter of play. Berwick leading Glen Mills in this 1992 opener, 27-7. And the Bulldogs threatening again. 2nd down and 3. They will have the football at the Glen Mills 5-yard line when time is back in.
They had a substitution problem. Perhaps when Ryan Mason came off a bit slow, no one substituted for him. Ron Paulus broke the huddle and could see he was missing a player. Down here in scoring range, you can't waste the play. Worth taking that time out if you can convert it for 6 points.
So let's see what the Bulldogs come up with from the Glen Mills 5-yard line. Greg Michael is the tight end to the left side. Backs in an open set. As Paulus fakes handoff, rolls left, going to keep the football and gets in for a Berwick touchdown. Ron Paulus in for the score as Berwick builds the lead.
play has worked all evening. He's going to fake inside and then roll with the ball, and it's a delayed type of roll. He's waiting for the blocking to develop. The crash is upfield by the defensive end. He allows the man to run him the way he's going, and then he turns it upfield. There's some blockers down there helping him as well. He had clear sailing to right about the goal line where he finally had to dive to break the play to the end zone.
And now Ron Hollis will attempt the extra point. He's kicked one. He's had one sail wide left this evening. Long count, high snap. Pecorelli tries to get it down, can't, so he flips it to Hollis. Hollis rolls right, fires to the end zone. Berlin tries to make the play, cannot. So the extra point attempt fails. There's time out on the field. 5:55 remaining in the third quarter of play with the score. Berwick 33 and Glen Mills 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
In these changing times, Wagner's Trophies and Engravables in downtown Bloomsburg is looking forward to your return as they reopen. While closed, Wagner's has made changes to their inventory by adding new Bloomsburg University items, wedding items, and pet supplies like tags and personalized bandanas. Check out Wagner Trophies' upgraded Facebook page for weekly updates. And don't forget to stop by the store at 146 East Main Street in downtown Bloomsburg. Wagner's Trophies and Engravables, a proud part of the community for over 35 years.
Bloom Heating is the answer to all of your heating needs. They're a full-service oil heat company focused on providing you with premium-grade heating oil for a clean, efficient operation. Bloom Heating offers competitive pricing. They have parts in stock to fit most residential boilers and also install cast-iron peerless boilers. Bloom Heating also carries off-road diesel fuel. Give Bloom Heating a call today at 784-4919 for all of your heating needs.
HLM.
Briar Creek Mutual Insurance has moved to their new location on Route 11 Columbia Boulevard in Bloomsburg. Briar Creek Mutual has been operating with a high standard of service since 1874. They are dedicated to protecting their policyholders and retaining their trust through personalized service and commitment to long-term stability. Briar Creek Mutual Insurance Company of Bloomsburg, a proud and active member of the local community since 1874.
Ask Ameriprise financial advisor Jeffrey McKinnon about the exclusive Confident Retirement Approach. It's a personalized, flexible, step-by-step approach toward financial balance. Call Jeff today at 570-520-4137. Offices are located at 22 South Prospect Street in Nanticoke, PA, and 118 East 3rd Street in Berwick, PA. The Confident Retirement Approach is not a guarantee of future financial results. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, a registered investment advisor.
Berwick Bulldog Football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills of Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
5 minutes, 55 seconds remaining in the third quarter of play. Berwick has scored on all but one of their possessions this evening. They lead Glen Mills 33-7. As Jason Sobolewski will kick off, flutters the kick toward the sideline, and Glen Mills gets on the football on a diving attempt. It looked like it was heading toward the sideline, but Berwick defenders closing in, so Glen Mills, Jason Thomas couldn't take a chance. He had a dive on the football, and Glen Mills will have it at their own 26-yard line.
He had to do that. Of course, if it goes out of bounds, it's free kick. But it was a bit of a short kick anyway, so where he recovered that ball isn't a bad place to put it in play. He took a shot, too, because Berwick was trying to go for the onside. You know, once they saw no one was going to play it immediately.
Noel Shortledge is in the Berwick defensive unit now to safety, replacing Mike Bennett. 1st and 10 for Glen Mills. They have it at their own 26-yard line. They have an I formation. Dickerson is the fullback. He gets the call straight up the gut and gets to the 34-yard line. Brad Kishbaugh makes the stop, but an 8-yard pickup right up the gut. Keno Shawwell and Chris Dickerson are the running backs for Glen Mills, and they alternate fullback and tailback. And well, I'll tell you, they're both effective from either position.
Said the only tandem with 1,000-yard rushes that returned out of Dickerson in the backfield. Eric Dickerson at SMU with James, I think, had that. Boy, they can both run. Dickerson now has 94 yards, and they're getting pretty much pasted here, 33-7.
Second down and 2 for Glen Mills. Chris Dickerson gets the call. His hit spins away, gets out over the 38-yard line for a first down. Ryan Mason made the play, but Dickerson was hit head-on about the 35 and did a 360, got out of there, picked up a first down. Great move by Dickerson.
I think that'll impress scouts as well. A highly recruited individual, perhaps the best running back in the nation. Here he's in a losing effort, yet the attitude is still there. The intensity is still there. 97 yards now, early here in the half, and he's trying to get his team back into this ball game. One slip by Berwick, and he'll take it all the way.
First and 10 for the Bulls at their own 37-yard line. A slot to the right side. Dickerson, the tailback in the eye, but it's the fullback, Shawwell, who gets it. And he picks up about 3. Jason Knaus, the sophomore, makes the play. It's really impressive by Berwick is the youth they have in their lineup. They have as many as 3 sophomores playing defensively tonight. 2 of them started. B.J. Hayes and Mike Bennett. You've got a third one, Jason Knaus, in there now. As the gain was just 2 to the 39, second down and 8.
Phil Hetler's seeing a lot of offensive action, playing a key role, and on a hot, muggy evening like this, you'd like to give him a bit of a spell out of that linebacker spot. They feel Knaus can step right in there and play, and it looks like one of the running backs is limping off. Keno Shawwell.
Right. He's had some injury problems in the preseason. He goes off, and it's Dave McClendon who takes his place. And now we're ready for action with Glen Mills facing a second down and 8, and the football at their own 39-yard line. McClendon is ahead of Dickerson in the eye. Jones back to throw, fires a quick out, has Carl Pugh at the 45 over midfield, and to the Berwick 49-yard line for Glen Mills first down. Chris Orlando made the hit for Berwick, but Damon Jones, the quarterback for the Bulls, hitting Carl Pugh. They pick up about 12 on the play. First and 10 at the Berwick 49.
First pass attempt of the half, and he completed it. Had a rough first half. They threw only in predictable situations. 2 interceptions and 5 attempts. Only 1 complete for 14 yards. And that really was in a 2-minute type of situation.
Johnny Jones, the tight end on the right side from the I formation. Dickerson gets the call, tries the left side, hit behind the line of scrimmage, breaks away, turns the corner, 45, 40, 35. Finally driven out of bounds by Noel Shortledge. Oh, what a tremendous effort by Chris Dickerson.
He can run, and he just bounced it outside, showed the speed because they squared up on him, and he just took it wide. He finished the run off with a stiff arm that sort of became an elbow to the head of the defender. So there's some razzing here on this side, I think. Just his intensity. He wanted to push that final defender out, give the shot before going out of bounds. Very intense.
There was not much room for Dickerson, but he got 21 yards out of it. First and 10 at the Berwick 28-yard line. As Jones gives straight ahead to Dickerson, and this time, nothing doing. David Beaupain, who's been very, very active from that nose guard position, made the play, and there's no gain. Second and 10 at the Berwick 28-yard line.
I think Berwick's going to be pleased with their inside defense. That's where all the replacements are. The studs who graduated last year were in the interior area, the tackles, the nose guard, and they've been very stingy defensively. They thought they'd be able to stop the outside game and contain that speed. They have to be pleased with what they're getting on the inside.
Backs at an open set. Second down and 10 for Glen Mills. Jones back to throw. Fires over the middle, intended for Pugh, and it goes incomplete. So it'll be a third down and 10 for the Bulls at the Berwick 28-yard line.
A better play for their scheme with all the runs they're doing that time. A quick dive fake and then tries to release the tight end downfield. Ball was thrown at a low trajectory and off target. Nowhere near making that connect.
Again, a reminder, immediately following our broadcast tonight, Bruce Van Allen will be by with the football final, scores and highlights of all the action going on this opening night of the 1992 high school football season. Glen Mills with a third down and 10 at the Berwick 28-yard line. Dickerson is the tailback in the I formation, and Jones off play action is back to throw, and he's rolling right. Here comes the pass rush. Gets the pass away, but incomplete, and he was belted. Brad Kishbaugh, David Beaupain, Jason Sobolewski, all there to put the hit on the Glen Mills quarterback. And now it's a 4th and 10 at the Berwick 28.
And the pressure put on by defensive linemen, not really blitzing. They kept people back in coverage. He had some time to throw, but there was no one to throw to. So eventually the rush came from the defensive lineman. Looks like a leg cramp for Berwick. Jason Sobolewski's going to have to come out and work that out of his thigh.
Yep, he fought that off once and got back in action, but he's coming off again, trying desperately to come off on his own power, and he does so. As Glen Mills had the football, Scott Berlin has replaced him at the defensive end position. Here's a 4th and 10 now for Glen Mills at the Berwick 28-yard line. Anderson is on a wing to the right. There's an I formation, and Jones is straight drop back to throw. Look for the middle screen. There it is. It's to Dickerson, but he's hit from behind. Reading it very, very well is Tony Saltasia. That was a play that Berwick feared coming into this ball game, and it was set up fairly well, but Saltasia read it, and he made the play. 6 foot, 247-pound senior. Good drive by Glen Mills, but it comes up short. And Berwick will take over the football at their own 27-yard line with a 1st and 10 with 2:12 to go in this third quarter. And Berwick leading 33-7.
You have to really sell that play. You have to have 11 actors on the field to run that center screen. And when Berwick's anticipating some trickery in a 4th and 10, it's just not going to sell.
Saltasia came off. Steinling replaces him on the offensive side as Mike Sobolewski gets the ball, and he's not going anywhere. As Glen Mills closed quickly, Lamont Nickens, 6 foot, 275-pound senior, makes the play for Glen Mills. Glen Mills, in addition to their success in football, basketball, they had a state champion a couple of years ago. They've had a lot of success at Shippensburg in the state track finals in the spring. They also have quite a powerlifting team. They've got some guys who really have strength. As we have a 2nd down and 10 for Berwick at their own 27-yard line. Hollis back to throw. Quick out for Orlando. Makes a diving attempt. Can't do it. Good pass rush that time. Lazarius Calhoun, 247-pound junior, was in on Ron Hollis in a hurry. And Andy Berwick's done a great job of keeping the heat off Hollis for most of the evening. Last year, Glen Mills made life miserable for Ron. Tonight, for the most part, he's taken a couple of hits, but he's had a good night.
Well, and one of the biggest factors, Jim, is the effectiveness of their running game. When you force that team to defend the run, I mean, Sobolewski's been busting the middle close to 70 yards tonight. Paulus has 60. You can't tee off and just go after the passer. That's going to give him a little more time if the run works well.
3rd and 10 from the shotgun. Paulus over the middle to Bill Hetler, breaks one tackle and is brought down a little bit short of the 1st down yardage at about the 36-yard line. Terrell Gillette made the play for Glen Mills as we have an injury timeout on the play. Berwick will come up, as we look at it, really about 2 yards short of that 1st down.
Looks again like one of those calf cramps. This time it's a Glen Mills defender down on the far side. I think they let water come out to both teams too, Jim, and let this mugginess play out. Hope to fend off some of these type of fatigue injuries that we're seeing.
Some of the interesting stories, Andy, in this opening night of the 1992 season. We had a score at halftime, Mount Carmel and Tamako. Mount Carmel leading 6-0. That's a pretty fascinating opener for a number of reasons, not the least of which is the return of Joe Diminick. I say the return because he was fired and then rehired in the offseason. And, of course, George Yannick, who seems to pop up everywhere, is
almost as much as Doyle Dietz pops up.
Yeah.
The ubiquitous George. I coached for 2 weeks with George.
He's coaching at Tamaqua. Finish that thought, right.
Yeah, that's going to be a very interesting game, a very unique situation there. Maybe we can finish that story after this play.
4th down and 2 for Berwick. They're lined up to punt. Hollis back at his 24-yard line. Takes the snap, and he gets the kick away. The line drive kick. There's a flag down in the play as it angles and off to the right, and finally it's down about the Glen Mills 38-yard line. We'll check the flag.
Thrown by the back judge. They're pointing toward Glen Mills. It was before the punt even went. I saw the flag sitting on the field, but something's going to extend this, and Glen Mills will have poor field position.
Another story tonight is the Valley View and Hanover game. That is supposed to be a very important game in Division II in the Eastern Conference. Valley View is having their way with the Hawkeyes at the half, leading 20-0. If that holds up, Frank Pizzalia, who's done a tremendous job coaching at Valley View, will have his 200th career win at that school. So it's a big night for him in the opening night of this 1992 season.
And if he earns it, he's going to earn it against a quality team. People realize, Hanover's a team you often see in the state playoffs, and they're supposed to be relatively strong this year as well.
They are indeed, as Glen Mills has it at their own 37-yard line with a 1st and 10, and Chris Dickerson gets the call straight up the gut and gets over the 40 out to about the 42-yard line as the third quarter comes to an end. With the score, Berwick 33 and Glen Mills 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
Forge Pub and Eatery on the corner of 11th and Mulberry Streets in Berwick are proud supporters of the 2020 George Curry Walk to Defeat ALS. Stop by during the walk for a chance to win a gift certificate. No purchase necessary. Just take your picture next to the George Curry banner during your virtual stop and post it to the ALS Walk Facebook page to enter. Social distancing will be in place, and you can always drop off a donation at Forge Pub and Eatery at 11th and Mulberry Streets in Berwick.
Whether you need a dishwasher, refrigerator, stove, washer, dryer, microwave, or water heater, Flick Brothers Electric features low prices and top-notch customer service. Save on major name brand appliances, including General Electric, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, KitchenAid, Maytag, Smeg, Fisher-Paykel, Speed Queen, Sharp, Amana, and more. Plus, they sell built-in the USA Viking appliances. They're all on display at Flick Brothers Electric, Maple Lane, Bloomsburg, for over 65 years. Call 570-784-3444.
The Mayo Funeral Homes, located at 110 Chestnut Street in Berwick and 77 Main Street in Chickasha, are proud sponsors of Berwick Bulldog football. The Mayo Funeral Homes, serving all faiths, makes it easier for those you love with pre-arranged funeral counseling, insurance, and pre-financed funerals. Mayo Funeral Homes also offers expert guidance in both traditional and cremation services. Mayo Funeral Homes, perfection in every detail.
HLM.
Bloom Heating is the answer to all of your heating needs. They're a full-service oil heat company focused on providing you with premium-grade heating oil for a clean, efficient operation. Bloom Heating offers competitive pricing. They have parts in stock to fit most residential boilers and also install cast iron peerless boilers. Bloom Heating also carries off-road diesel fuel. Give Bloom Heating a call today at 784-4919 for all of your heating needs.
Mason's Monogramming has the largest selection of Bulldog items in Berwick. Family owned with more than 30 years experience and new Bulldog wear for every age, including masks, tees, polos, sweater shirts, jackets, and hats. They even have brand new indestructible silicone cups, koozies, car coasters, decals, and more. Shop at masonsmonogram.com for their new items and select in-person pickup or shipping right to you. Follow their Instagram at Mason's Monogram for their latest new items. Mason's Monogram service in Berwick. Let them personalize for you.
Berwick Bulldog Football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills of Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
We start the fourth quarter. Glen Mills with the football at their own 42-yard line, and Jones back to throw, incomplete, but will have interference. The pass intended for Carl Pugh, and Noel Shortledge hit him, and Glen Mills will get a first down to start this fourth quarter. The only scoring in the third quarter coming on Berwick's first possession of the quarter. They put together a 47-yard scoring drive, capped on a 5-yard touchdown run by Ron Hollis. A couple of big plays along the way, an 11-yard run by Jason Soboleski, an 11-yard pass to Dante Pecorelli. That interference call will give Glen Mills a first down. The Bulls have it at the Bulldogs' 43-yard line. Glen Mills moving right to left as we view things here in the fourth quarter.
Passing game at that point looked rather sharp. Shortledge had to bump him where the catch would have been made.
High formation behind quarterback Damone Jones. And the pitch is to Keno Shawwell, who's a tailback on this carry. He breaks one tackle, spins away from another, backtracks, and is grabbed and brought down at the 40-yard line by Bill Hetler. There is a flag on the play, but Shawwell showed us something.
He stiff-armed the defender at the very end and may have caught the defender's face mask, and that's what they're calling. Rarely do you see that call, Jim, but what an effort. Started in one direction, spun, reversed his field, broke a tackle, broke another, and in trying to get away from the final defender, tried to separate himself with a stiff arm, grabbed the face mask, and after that effort, he's going to be penalized.
Well, he'll get the penalty, but he put on a show. We've been talking so much about Chris Dickerson and his marketability as far as a college prospect is concerned. I've got to believe there's a place somewhere for Keno Shawwell as well as the penalty back to the Glen Mills 40-yard line.
I think you mentioned in your pregame, Jim, Dickerson's runs a 4.4540, and that's incredible. Most pros don't touch that type of speed. You know, there's one or two burners at that circuit, and they say Shawwell is quicker than him, so that's incredible.
Glen Mills 1st and 27 back at their own 40-yard line. Backs in an open set. And Jones is back to throw, straight drop back, steps up into it, sees some running room. He's at the 45. He turns to the 50, gets to the Berwick 45, still on his feet, gets back to the Berwick 40-yard line. Sean Carver makes the play, but a nice scramble by Damon Jones, a 6', 186-pound senior. It's a senior starting for the first time, and he did a good job there. Randy Weaver in there defensively for Berwick now as Jones on the scramble got all the way to the Berwick 41-yard line, so he picked up 19 on the play. It's 2nd down and 8.
With some people, the best play is the broken play. While the defense dropped back into coverage and the rush came, he was able to slide between and then scramble. Very impressive run by the quarterback.
High formation. And Chris Dickerson at the tail of the tandem. They're going to option to the left side. Jones, the quarterback, will keep. Gets away from one tackler and picks up about 3 to the 37-yard line. Damon Jones brought down by John Lipsy and Dave Beaupain in that defensive unit for Berwick.
Running hard, they're moving the ball, but that 15-yard face masking penalty against the offense really hurt them. When they get an offensive play off, you see the effort, you see the production, but they've self-destructed throughout this game, Jim. The penalties, the turnovers. It's just been that type of breakdown that's put them well behind.
Here's a 3rd down and 5. Glen Mills at the Berwick 38-yard line. Jones, straight drop back to throw. Cocks the arm. Now he's in big trouble. Here comes the rush. He's going to keep the football, and he's going to be dragged down at the 35-yard line. Making the play is Randy Weaver. Jones is an exciting quarterback as he scrambled and scrambled some more, but Weaver able to catch him from behind the 36. He did pick up about a yard on the play, and it's 4th down, 4th and 4 at the 36-yard line of Berwick.
He really wanted to force the ball downfield, but I think he's harping back to the 2 interceptions he threw in the first half and pulled it down at the last minute. Decided to scramble for it. They're going on 4th here.
At the 36-yard line of Berwick, Glen Mills, their 4th down call. The pitch is to Dickerson. He bowls over a tackler, trying for that 1st down yardage. John Lipsy makes the play. He's close. We've seen the speed. We've seen the moves of Chris Dickerson. That time we saw just the full power as he just stood up a couple of Berwick defenders, kept driving forward, and got the 1st down at the 32-yard line.
Scouts like to see that low forward lean, especially out of the speed back. The guy who's willing to dip the shoulder or deliver the forearm and drive ahead. He knew what he needed to make the change. He put it down and just kept the feet driving. Eventually, the gang tackle pushed him back, but his forward progress was awarded the 1st down.
1st and 10 for Glen Mills. They have the football at the Berwick 32-yard line. And a flag down on the play and too much time. And Glen Mills, that's about the 4th time this evening that they have been called for that. That one seemed a little quick to me.
It did, but they probably spotted the ball quick. You know, Al Brogan had signaled the 1st down, and I think the Glen Mills people were still around the ball trying to see the spot to see if they earned it. They had set the ball as ready for play, so, you know, from when they were in the huddle and snapped the huddle, it may have seemed quick. But you start that electronic clock in the, by the back judge, when it's ready for play, and they seem to have lost a little time waiting for the first down to be called.
1st and 15 at the Berwick 37-yard line. Backs in an open set. Jones off play action, rolling right, looking to throw. Now fires over the middle, and it's picked off by Chris Orlando. Orlando with his 3rd interception of the evening. He broke well from the safety position. He's backpedaling, and he's just eyeing the quarterback. When the quarterback steps to throw, he breaks to that spot. He bumped into the receiver, but there's not going to be interference if he's going for the ball. He has that much right to it. He caught it, and his momentum moved him forward. He stumbled. He lost possession for the moment, but regained it the ground, and he was awarded with the interception. Clock running, a little over 8 minutes to go in this football game. Berwick 33, Glen Mills 7. Berwick with the football, 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line. Ron Paulus is the quarterback, gives to Jason Sobolewski, tries the middle, and nothing doing. As he's stacked up by the middle, Lamont Nickens, all 275 pounds of him, along with Lazarius Calhoun, 247 pounds. And they mark it right at the line of scrimmage. It is 2nd down and 10 for Berwick at their own 32-yard line. They have some beef up front. The front 4 average 243. Linebackers go 220 and 225. So it's going to be tough to run inside. You look at the scoreboard and the dominance of Berwick. The passing is very complicated and hard to stop. But the talent that Glen Mills is able to field is very, very evident from our vantage. You have to be fearful if you're a scout, taking plays down on Berwick, and you're going to be facing them in the upcoming weeks. 2nd and 10, Berwick from their own 32-yard line. Mike Bennett comes in motion to the right side, and Paulus rolls right, looking to throw, fires it downfield, incomplete. Dante Pecorelli and Mike Bennett both in this area, right in front of us down at the 45-yard line. Terrell Gillette had some real heat on Ron Paulus, and not too many high school quarterbacks would have gotten that one away. 3rd and 10, Berwick at their own 32. Last year in this game, Paulus threw 3 interceptions. Here what he's doing is he's throwing the ball that has, less of a risk. He let that one go, hoping it could be caught, but he knew it was near the sideline. He knew it was 2-on-1 with his people in that area. If somehow the defender made a play, they'd be able to knock away. Low risk of interception there. Take the chance, throw it. Slot to the right side. Bill Hetler, the running back from the shotgun. Paulus takes the snap, fires out of the backfield to Hetler. He dropped the football at the 35-yard line, and then was hit by Johnny Stevenson, but Stevenson just doing his job. Some of the crowd doesn't think so, but Stevenson doesn't want to see a play go by where he doesn't get to hit somebody. I'd hit him too. Hetler probably wishes he was hit harder. He wanted to make the catch, and there's some instant karma for the drop. He's had a great game. 4 catches so far in this game. That would have been his 5th. He had it. Could have made a little on the run. He bobbled it momentarily, so the defensive reaction is to give the shot and try to jar it away. From the stand, you can boo that if you want. Ron Paulus back to punt, standing at his 21-yard line. 4th and 10, Berwick. There's the snap, and he gets the kick away. And it's a low line drive, bounces about the 35, takes a great Berwick roll. Goes inside the 20-yard line, down to the Glen Mills 17-yard line. So Ron Paulus, who does a little bit of everything for this football team, there gets a 51-yard punt away. And Glen Mills has it 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line with 6 minutes and 53 seconds to go in this football game. And Berwick leading Glen Mills by a score of 33-7. He was able to get it angled off to the side, so there was no chance of return. He didn't try to over-kick it. He just tried to get it where it's going to come down point first and roll, and he managed to get a wonderful roll on that punt. 1st and 10. Shawwell and Dickerson are the backs in an open set now. They've been in the eye for much of the evening, and Jones is back to throw, and he's looking long, and it's caught by Pugh at the 36-yard line. Boy, that was a nice touch as Ryan Mason was back in the coverage, and the ball just zipped by him right into the hands of Pugh. At the 37, they'll pick up 20 on the reception. 1st and 10, Glen Mills.
Mason will tell you he probably should have intercepted. I think when he looked to locate ball, it was already on him and it hit him in the hands and may have deflected to Pugh after that. They have the split backfield, as you mentioned, rather than the eye because it's easier to block, the pass block from that situation.
Clock running, 6:09 to go in the game. Glen Mills with a 1st and 10 as the ball goes to Shawwell. He tries the left side and lost his footing. And then is buried by John Lipsey and B.J. Hayes. And the ball's at the 35-yard line. They'll lose a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 11 for the Bulls.
Berwick will probably stay with their base defense for the most part. They're not going to take too many risks with stunning at this point. They'll allow for small gains here and there, but if Glen Mills is going to drive, they're going to have to take time off the clock in order to do it. They'll try to lay back and try to work for an interception, realizing that Glen Mills is going to have to try a little harder for that score and force things.
Slot to the right side. Dickerson and Shawwell backs in an open set. Jones back to throw. He's looking long downfield for Pugh, and it's picked off. Making the interception is Noel Shortledge. And Berwick has their 4th interception of the evening, and they take over 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
Again, in the base, you're sitting back. You're going to loosen up with your people. You know they have to try for the score. You know their tendencies. They have a strong-arm quarterback who tries to throw it down. They're hoping their athletes can out-jump your athletes downfield. But in that zone, the defender has the advantage. He can backpedal and just stay back there deep, and he can see the ball coming. His momentum will take him toward the play, whereas the receiver is going away from it. Fine interception by Shortledge.
1st and 10 for Berwick. Under 5 minutes to go in the football game. Jason Sobolewski is the lone running back. Paulus is back to throw, and he's going to go long to Mike Bennett. Bennett has a step, and he makes the grab, and he's out of bounds at the 37-yard line. The sophomore Mike Bennett, we've heard a lot about his abilities, and they decided to give the youngster a shot at it late in this ball game, and he made a fine over-the-shoulder catch at the sideline. Big gain for Berwick, 1st and 10.
Mike Bennett is 6'4", pushing 6'5", and growing. They say his speed is in that 4.5 range. He has the tools that the big-time scouts will want to see. They want to get his feet wet, give him a chance that he can contribute as this season goes along. He's doing it defensively. He's had a strong game. Offensively here now, he makes a big catch off Paulus's arm.
39 yards on the reception by the sophomore Mike Bennett, who is now wide to the right. 1st and 10, Berwick at the Glen Mills 38-yard line. And Paulus is back to throw once again. And he's looking long downfield for Bennett, but it's incomplete. That time, Paulus was wrapped up by James Flowers. They did get pass away. Getting back to Mike Bennett. He was a starter on the varsity basketball team a year ago as a freshman. He's a fine track athlete, went to states in the quarter mile. He's also an excellent baseball player, and he's a fine football player. Other than that, there's not much he can do. But he is going to be a great one in this Berwick program. He's 6'4", 185 pounds, and just a sophomore, and he's wide to the right.
Where's a quarterback number 2, Jim?
Yeah, he was a quarterback with the freshman team a year ago as Powell's back to throw. Fires over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Hetler, and again, a great pass rush by James Flowers, the linebacker. Glen Mills has been out of this game for some time, but they haven't stopped playing by any means. I mean, Flowers was really coming in on Paulus, and now it's 3rd and 10 at the 38.
They're intense, Jim. They like to hit. They like to collide. You know, their schemes are intense, a bit reckless with this type of blitzing, but they pay big dividends. And yet they're doing it very sportsmanlike. You know, they've had penalties through the game, but not the roughing type of penalties. They've helped people up, pat them on the back. You know, they played a very clean game throughout.
Chad Roberts in the Berwick lineup. He's in a slot to the right side, and Paulus is back to throw, and he has his man, Ryan Mason. He gets down to the 27-yard line. And again, Flowers was in on Paulus, but Ron Paulus with that quick release got it away to Ryan Mason. And Mason is close to the first down yardage.
What they're doing is they realize Flowers is coming, so Mason really should be covered by Flowers. So it's can Flowers get to Paulus before Paulus can get it to Mason? And in that case, Paulus was able to backpedal quick enough and just get that ball off soon enough Nice sure-handed reception. I thought he had the first down, but they're going to bring the chains over and stretch them.
And they will bring them out. Rico Margani, number 31, come into the Berwick lineup and a wide receiver, and they get the first down as they mark the football, the 27. So it's an 11-yard pass completion on 3rd and 10. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. As we have 4 minutes and 23 seconds to go in this 1992 season opener. It's been Berwick from the start tonight. They lead it 33-7.
I think Berwick would like to run it, but because of the schemes they're seeing, they can't. They're almost forced to pass because of the defense.
Hollis fakes handoff, keeps the football, rolls left, is hit hard as he gets down to about the 21-yard line. Charles Hicks, the right defensive end, 6'2", 226-pound senior. Andy, we talked about Glen Mills still playing hard down 33-7. I think when you have 130 people on your roster, that doesn't allow for any complacency because there's about 6 people waiting for your job, so I guess you'd better play hard.
They do play hard, and, these kids realize they're playing for scholarships. There's a lot of scholarship potential on that field. I believe one already has a scholarship to Nebraska. So, they're playing hard. They have a lot of pride in their team and in their unit coming off an undefeated season. You have to expect a hard play.
Hollis takes the snap back to throw, intended for Magani. It's incomplete. As Ron Hollis was rushed that time. And it will be a 3rd down and 4 Berwick at the 21 with 3:24 to go in the half. Berwick next Friday night here at Crispin Field will host a brand new opponent, Bishop McNamara from Washington, D.C. Again, a 7:30 kickoff. We hope you'll join us for that one, starting with the pregame show at 7 o'clock.
Supposed to be an aerial circus. A lot of tall receivers, mobile quarterback, the type of teams that have given Berwick trouble, Jim.
3rd and 4 at the 21. Hollis back to throw, looking long, but his receiver fell down right about the goal line. Terrell Gillette really put the hit on Ron Hollis. And it'll bring up a 4th down and 4 for Glen Mills at the 21-yard line.
Glen Mills, like you said, still playing hard throughout. They realize they went against the number 1 rated team in the country. They have a very challenging schedule the rest of the way. They want to make a name for themselves. The whole game is not the one season for them. So they have other goals throughout. I think they want to finish this, with a strong fight.
3 minutes, 19 seconds is all that remains. Berwick has a 4th down and 4. They have it at the 21-yard line of Glen Mills, and the Bulldogs took too much time getting that play together. So it'll be a 5-yard walk-off back to the 26, and it'll bring up a 4th down and 9.
They haven't had many penalties throughout the game, Jim. This delay, they took a delay purposefully in a punting situation earlier. But other than that, they haven't been guilty of infractions, and that takes a lot of the discipline. No offsides penalties, the motion penalties aren't there. They're prepared very well for this opener, and, it's been a while since they won the opener. I think that had to be a special goal for them to get off to a strong start this season.
Right, the last 2 years, Berwick had lost their opener. As Powell's back to throw on 4th down, the ball is picked off. Picked off by Johnny Stevenson. Stevenson is dragged down by Powell at the 47-yard line. The first interception of the evening off Ron Powell, and it was that impressive inside linebacker Johnny Stevenson, the 6'2", 220-pound senior, who made the pickoff. So Berwick's offense leads for perhaps the last time this evening, and a standing ovation from some of the faithful on the home side of the field. Berwick gets some substitutes in there. Glen Mills takes over at their own 45-yard line following the interception. And we've talked about Powell, we've talked about Dickerson. Johnny Stevenson, a great prospect as well for that linebacker position. A couple of years ago, I thought Glen Mills had as good a linebacker as we saw in Shannon Stevenson. I believe he's at Georgia. And Johnny Stevenson might be headed to some school as well. As the pitch goes to Chris Dickerson over midfield and gets to the Berwick 47-yard line. He picks up about 7 and adds to what's been a pretty impressive evening for him considering the circumstances.
21 carries for 130 yards. Berwick defense is playing their hearts out to try to control this guy. They're keying on him. They know that the passing game is not a strength on the part of Glen Mills. They've intercepted 4 passes when they forced him to pass. So they're keying on this running back, and he still has 21 carries for 130 yards. You know, team ranked number 1 with a strong defense, gearing to stop one individual, and he's still taking it to them with the ground attack.
Ryan Traw is in the Berwick lineup, replacing B.J. Hayes at a cornerback. Slot to the left side for the Bulls. The pitch goes to Dickerson. He gets inside the Berwick 45 down to about the 41-yard line. Dickerson with the carry. Tackle by Bill Hetler, as Dickerson will pick up 6 more, and the Bulls with a 1st and 10. Clock running with 2:15 remaining in the game.
A little slow getting the play-in messenger coming. You know, those officials don't like to throw that flag, but you have to be objective with the rules. Even here with 2 minutes to go in the game, and the score with the disparity is 33-7.
Derek Anderson is in there for the Bulls. He'll move to a wing on the left side. There's an I formation behind quarterback Devon Jones, and he pitches the ball to Chris Dickerson. He sweeps to the left side, and he's forced out of bounds across the way at about the 37-yard line. As Glen Mills trying to get one more score on the board. Ryan Mason came up from his cornerback position to make the stop for Berwick, as they have the football at the 37-yard line of the Bulldogs. 2nd down and 6 for Glen Mills.
Dickerson still adding to that total of 142 yards now for his rushing game. I have Keno Shawwell with 42, and Damon Jones, the quarterback, has rushed for 44. So well over 200 yards rushing here in this losing effort for Glen Mills.
2nd and 6 from the 37-yard line. The pitch is to Dickerson. Lowers his shoulder and gets to the 34. Picks up about 3. It's going to bring up a 3rd down situation. Randy Weaver, a senior now in the Berwick lineup, makes the play for the Bulldogs. They mark it at the 35, so it's going to be a 3rd down and 4. Time for perhaps 2 more plays for the Bulls with that clock running, as Chris Orlando comes out of the Berwick lineup. What a night he had. 3 interceptions, plus offensively caught a touchdown pass. 3rd down and 4, Glen Mills at the Berwick 35-yard line from the I formation. The pitch is to Chris Dickerson. Tries the right side. He is going nowhere. He is stacked up. Brad Kishbaugh wrapped him up. Kishbaugh getting his first start, and this is senior year, and he's made some big plays.
He has. He's looked very strong, Jim. In fact, you know, the people that he's going against are really studs. That whole offensive unit of Glen Mills up front is big and strong. You mentioned that they're power lifters with national rankings. Kishbaugh's really held his own. In fact, he stood out on quite a few plays, his quickness and strength showing.
From the 36-yard line, here's a 4th down call for the Bulls in Berwick territory. Jones back to throw. Throws long, and the ball is batted away. Great coverage downfield. J.J. Cleaver and Joe Knowles, and they combine to knock it away, and Berwick will take over with 17 seconds remaining in this football game.
They'll probably just run this out now. The units are just switching sides. A great opening effort for Berwick. You know, a lot of people had doubts. This Glen Mills team, with the talent level they have, the numbers, the intensity, the quality of the program as we've seen it in the past, you have to consider a tremendous opening day competition. I think a lot of people favored Glen Mills in this. Berwick winning here very, very convincingly.
Bulldogs take over. Dante Pecorelli is the quarterback. He hands off. There's a fumble, and Glen Mills gets the ball with 13 seconds to go.
Ball fumbled forward on the exchange. You change quarterbacks and backs. They haven't worked together as much, and that happens often. Ed Jeter, the safety, eventually pounced on that ball, and we might get one play. I think they might just stay in the huddle here, Jim. 5 seconds and counting.
Jones comes out, and let's see. Glen Mills will use the timeout with 3 seconds to go. They're going to get their money's worth. They made this long trip to Berwick, and they're going to get one more play out of this with 3 seconds to go. We'll keep it right here as Glen Mills will have the ball at the Berwick 43-yard line.
Sometimes when you're disappointed in a performance, you call that timeout, you huddle with your troops, and you turn and you make them look at that scoreboard, and you say, next week, that talent, Jim. It was obvious. Very talented individuals, but the system now is clicking a lot better. 3 seconds to go. Trips right. Here comes the Hail Mary. Jones back to throw, steps up into it, but he's hit, and the ball comes up short, and that is it. The end of the ball game with the final score. Berwick 33 and Glen Mills 7. We'll be back with the scoring and other statistics in tonight's game in 60 seconds.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
Go Bulldogs from Tri-County Lumber on South Poplar Street, just off Route 11 in Berwick. From the planning stages to the purchase, all the way through to the last nail being hammered, the staff at Tri-County Lumber in Berwick is at your service. Located just off Route 11 on South Poplar Street, Tri-County Lumber offers professional design for your kitchen and bath, cabinetry, and countertops. The products and service you are looking for are located just off Route 11 in Berwick on South Poplar Street at Tri-County Lumber.
Are you ready for some football, fall foliage, trick-or-treats, hunting, turkey? And did I say football? Are you ready for Gordner Coombs Insurance? We listen, we advise, we care. We remind you to get ready for the cold weather to come. Donate to our local United Way and our Feed a Friend barrel when November rolls around. At Gordner Coombs Insurance, we proudly represent Erie Insurance. No cookie-cutter coverage here. We recommend the coverage that will work for you. We are Gordner Coombs Insurance. Rest insured with us. We're available via phone, on the web, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Main Street in Millville. Are you ready?
Eat local at Steph Subs.
Yeah!
Steph Subs is open and still serving up delicious subs, soups, and salads on East Main Street in downtown Bloomsburg. Hot subs, cold subs, sides, and more. Takeout, delivery, and even curbside service is available. Give Steph's a call, 784-5750, to place your order. Proudly serving you, your friends, and neighbors for over 35 years on the corner of Main and East Streets in Bloomsburg for lunch, dinner, or anything in between. Make it Steph Subs, 784-5750.
HLM.
Neighbor Fence Company has fencing for where you want it, serving Columbia, Montour, and Luzerne counties. Neighbor Fence provides top-quality residential and commercial fencing, vinyl, chain link, wood, aluminum, and ornamental fencing, plus vinyl railing and specialty products. Neighbor Fence Company, 1140 State Route 239 in Wapwallopin. Call 570-752-4423 or visit them online at neighborfencecompany.com. Neighbor Fence Company is a proud sponsor of local youth athletic teams.
Surprise that special someone with jewelry from J. Lilo Jewelers in downtown Bloomsburg. Lilo's is a full-service jewelry store offering one of the area's largest selections of diamonds, wedding bands, watches, sterling silver, and gold jewelry. Lilo's repairs jewelry and watches on site. You may also find that one-of-a-kind piece in the popular estate section. Come in and see Jeff for that special gift for that special someone for any occasion at J. Lilo Jewelers, 140 East Main Street, Bloomsburg. J. Lilo Jewelers wishes all athletes success this season.
Berwick Bulldog Football.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of the 1992 season opener, Glen Mills of Berwick. It's the best of Berwick football on Sports Radio, HLM.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
The Bulldogs of Berwick have won their opener for the first time in a couple of seasons, and they've done it in very, very impressive fashion, avenging a 1-point loss at Glen Mills a year ago and winning, going away here this evening by a final score of 33-7. The wrap-up in the ballgame. Berwick scored on their first possession of the evening, moving off the opening kickoff from their own 40. 6-play, 60-yard scoring drive, capped on a 6-yard touchdown pass from Ron Powers to Dante Pecorelli. Big plays on the drive, 2 runs by Jason Sobolewski, one of 19 and one of 13, and a 15-yard run by Ron Powers. There was a bad snap on the extra point attempt. Berwick forced to pass. That failed, but the Bulldogs had an early 6-0 lead. Glen Mills took the ensuing kickoff and put together an impressive drive of their own. Starting at their own 26-yard line, they moved all the way to the Berwick 22. But a loss, a couple of penalties. They were backed up and had to give up the football at the 29-yard line of Berwick. The Bulldogs then just 4 plays later were in the end zone. 71-yard drive capped on a 23-yard touchdown pass from Ron Powers to Chris Orlando. Big plays on the drive. A 33-yard completion from Paulus to Pecorelli and a 15-yard run by Ron Paulus. With just 22 seconds to go in the first quarter, after Paulus's extra point, Berwick had a 13-0 lead. On the ensuing kickoff, Chris Dickerson could not handle it, fumbled the football. David Beaupain, who played a brilliant game from his nose guard position, made the play, recovered the ball, and on the last play of the first quarter, Paulus, 28-yard pass over the middle to Ryan Mason for the score. Ron Paulus ran for the two-point conversion. After one quarter of play, Berwick led by a score of 21-0. Glen Mills got on the board early in the second quarter. Keno Shawwell capped an impressive 8-play, 91-yard scoring drive with a 17-yard run for a touchdown. Two big plays along the way, two runs by the outstanding running back Chris Dickerson, one of 17, one of 31 yards. Lamont Nickens kicked the extra point. Glen Mills appeared to be back in the game, 21-7. They trailed it, but Berwick wasn't through yet. With 2:38 to go in the first half, they capped a 12-play, 67-yard scoring drive on a 1-yard touchdown run by Jason Sobolewski. Big play on the drive, a thing of beauty. Third down situation for Berwick. They sent Pecorelli in motion left, giving them trips on that side. Paulus rolls that way, comes back with a screen to the opposite side of the field to Bill Hetler for a big first down. Jason Sobolewski caps it later. Paulus' extra point sailed wide left, but Berwick had an impressive halftime lead, 27-7. If it was going to be a game after that, it rested early in the third quarter when Glen Mills had a 4th down and 1 in their own territory. However, they elected to punt the football. A short punt resulted. Berwick took over at the Glen Mills 47-yard line, and a couple of plays later, they were on the scoreboard again as Ron Paulus took it in himself from the 5-yard line. Big plays along the way. An 11-yard run by Jason Sobolewski. An 11-yard pass from Ron Paulus to Dante Pecorelli. Again, there was a problem with the snap. Paulus was forced to scramble and throw a pass, which failed. But Berwick had that lead, and that's the way it stood at the end of the ball game. The final, Berwick 33 and Glen Mills 7. Statistics in tonight's ball game, Andy Ulickney.
Some interesting statistics, Jim. You know, Glen Mills came in here highly touted, deservedly so. A lot of factors besides offense and defense played a role in this game. Turnovers, penalties, and momentum has a lot to do with it. Both teams had over 50 offensive snaps. Both teams rushed the ball effectively. Glen Mills rushed for 231 yards, averaged just about 6 yards a carry. But they just did not have the balance, and really the defense was picked apart by Berwick as well, a highly touted defense. Let's look at it individually. For the Bulls of Glen Mills, 52 plays, 39 rushes, 13 passing attempts, 1 punt, and that makes their 52. On the ground, 231 yards on 39 attempts. The Bulls, Chris Dickerson, 25 carries, 145 yards against a defense that was keying on him, knowing he'd get the ball, going against some of the best defenders that he'll face all year. Unstoppable for 145 yards on 25 carries. Backfield made Keno Shawwell 8 carries for 42 yards. Some very impressive ones. Perhaps his best was nullified by his own penalty. He gave a stiff arm at the end of it into a face mask, and that negated that one. Damon Jones, the quarterback, rushed 6 times for 44 yards. Some exciting scrambles. Passing the ball, well, that's not the strength of this team. They only had 4 completes and 13 attempts. As many interceptions thrown as completed passes, 4 interceptions, and only 48 yards through the air. Not the balance that they need to succeed. In the air, the leading receiver with 2 catches was Carl Pugh. Johnny Jones had a 14-yard reception, and Chris Dickerson, he had a screen pass for 2 yards. That was read very well by Berwick. 48 in the air for Glen Mills, 231 on the ground, total offense of 279 yards. I had them amassing 15 first downs. one punt, and we wondered if they should have punted that one. An interesting fourth down decision that had to be made. Turnovers of consequence for sure. 4 interceptions, 1 fumble, and penalties, 10 for 80 yards. For Berwick, fine offensive balance. 51 plays, 24 rushes, 28 passing attempts, and 2 punts. 140 yards on the ground, 209 in the air for a total offense of 349 yards. Individually carrying the ball, Jason Soboleski was impressive. Not only showing his power, but some finesse and speed as well. 10 carries for 69 yards on the game. Hampered a little bit by cramps toward the end, but averaging just about 7 yards a tote against a very powerful defense. Mike Soboleski, limited action in the backfield, 5 carries for 5 yards. Ron Paulus, he was designed into this game. Probably the best blackboard play was his fake to Soboleski, and then he'd bounce it outside. Ran that very effectively. 9 running plays for 66 yards for Ron Paulus on the ground. Throwing, he was 13 for 28. 1 interception thrown. That was on a 4th down play where it was just as well to force it. And amassed 209 yards through the air. Really open hot. They set the ground game up well, so when they went to pass, the people were open 4 in a row, 3 of them touchdowns, and that just set the tone for the game. After that, they committed to blitz to try to stop him. Threw him off his rhythm some, but he responded well with big plays. On the receiving end, leading receiver Dante Pecorelli. 5 catches for 79 yards, including a 6-yard touchdown. Chris Orlando had a 23-yard reception for a touchdown, also 3 interceptions on the defensive end. Ryan Mason, 2 catches for 40 yards, including a 28-yard touchdown reception. Mike Bennett took 139 yards here in the 4th quarter, showing his speed and ability to get open. And Bill Hetler, moving from fullback to the tight end slot, he snuck out of there for 4 catches for 28 yards. 13 receptions for 209 yards. Add that to 140 yards rushing. Total offense 349. First downs happened with 17. 2 punts for Ron Paulus. 1 pooch kick and 1 very nice long one. Got a good roll. Turnovers, an interception. That on a 4th down play. 1 fumble. When they changed quarterbacks, they had some trouble with the exchange. That at the end of the game. Penalties, very limited. 3 for 15. Jim, this was the game that Berwick knew they had to get by. This had to be, the most difficult team they could see on their schedule for pure talent, a team that had beaten them. And boy, talk about passing a test. You couldn't, they have to be dancing in that half house right now.
And another concern, obviously, when you play a team as physical as Glen Mills, is injuries and getting banged up. And, of course, we can't tell, but it looked like there was nothing serious in the Berwick part. So
we saw some cramps. That was about it. Those people went back in and played. You never know until after a game, but it looks like, even with the very physical play, they were dishing it out as much as taking. Well-played ball game. Classy operations on both sides. I've been very impressed with Glen Mills every time I've seen them. Down there, they treated us like royalty. Here, again, another class performance. Hard hitting, very intense, but sportsmanlike as always.
So Berwick avenges last year's loss to the Bulls. Glen Mills will be back in action at home next Friday night against Monsignor Bonner High School in Philadelphia. For the Bulldogs of Berwick, they go to 1-0. They'll be here at Crispin Field against Bishop McNamara High School from Washington, D.C. next Friday night. We hope you'll join us for that one, starting with the pregame show at 7 o'clock. That final score, once again, Berwick 33 and Glen Mills 7.
You've been listening to the best of Berwick Bulldogs football on Sports Radio HLM. Brought to you by First Columbia Bank and Trust, with you every step of the way. Ford's Pub and Eatery, West 11th Street in Berwick. Bear, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram